Let's do this. Chat, how's it going, my friends? It's been a long time no see. I think we're ripping it. Yes, we're running it. All right. What's up, Cosmic and Wall and Peter and Emily? I have literally never seen. I don't think I have ever hit the start stream button or the schedule stream button without seeing Emily's name as the first person in chat. Fuck, #1 committed person on Earth. Just a absolute JDD grinder, and we love our grinders out there. That's also the app that you can find me on. I'm gonna do some painting today. Here, I can swap over the setup. Boom, boom. I would get 5 big booms, but you know I'm just keeping it simple for now. I want to look at something real quick on my computer because somebody just sent me a GIF. Can I get some? Wait, can I get some music? Wait, we got stream audio? Oh. I was thinking we run some Fallout New Vegas radio today. Wait, was this the right one? -50? No, it's this one. We do some Fallout New Vegas radio today. We listen to some nice classic oldies. And we'll see how long it takes for the stream to get copyright striked. I've never pushed it. I think it should be good. It's a video game soundtrack. You're very handsome today. Thank you, Mom. Appreciate you coming to chat and checking out my stream. Oh yeah. Oh, this is that Ligma ratio. I wanted to look at something today. Where's my monitor? You guys can see that sick posture. Oh. It's a little loud. It's a little loud. 1 second. Let's turn up that compressor a little bit. Boom. All right. I want to talk about my camera's not set up for the. There we go. It's just me and Skelly. Somebody just sent me this, and I was looking for this reel. The other day. And by the other day, I mean probably a stream about 6 to 8 months ago, and I couldn't find it. And somebody just sent me to it, and it's made me very happy. Oh, my Ligma spammer got yeeted by my mod. I'm cool with that. Whatever the mods say, it's cool. They're my boys. All right, this was a reel that I was looking for because I wanted to show an example of a process that is so crazy that it's just like it's schizo drawing. I don't even know how to describe it. This guy, he does like a full architectural construction of every ligma on the body. Somebody said ligma in chat, and I just can't stop thinking about it. I forgot about that word. It's really catchy to say. It's crazy. Hey, this guy. Oh, I'm like peeking my mic real hard. Sorry if my audio sounds like shit. Wait. Hello? Okay, there we go. That should be much better. Sorry if my mic sounded like shit there. I was peeking the shit out of my audio. I don't know why that was happening. It was fine a few minutes ago. This guy, he draws every ligma on the body. Wait, I can zoom in, right? Yeah. First off, he's a BTS. He's like, all of these drawings are like BTS drawings, but he constructs it from like the skeleton up, and he puts in every single muscle. And then over the top, he just like draws normal people. This is like the most insane way you could ever. I can't imagine what sort of like mental illness you need to draw anything like this. And the funny thing too, well, he's very self-critical. Like if you read all the captions and stuff he puts up, where he's like, "There's all these mistakes and it sucks, but like I spent so much time on it, I can't. It's just a waste to discard it." It's like, brother, you didn't need to spend that much time on that. Nobody expects you to draw like this. Nobody expects you to draw like this. It's crazy. Beautiful Fallout New Vegas. I gotta have the Mr. House one in here. That way I don't get copyright striked. What? All right, sorry, I'm reading comment. And then like the end thing is it's very stiff. Like it's the guy's really fucking like I'm not gonna sit here and like critique this guy's art. He didn't ask for that. I will critique it a little bit. I'm an asshole, but I'm not gonna lie either. I'm not a liar, so I'm a little bit more of an asshole than I am a liar. So the guy is very knowledgeable, like very, very, very knowledgeable. Probably he's far more knowledgeable than me. I could never do this. But nobody ever asked you to do this. No one throughout history has ever done this. I was looking at some other stuff too, where he like showed the people that he was inspired by, and it's like it's always just a bunch of like 19th century artists, which is so funny because like 19th century artists, especially the French ones, were like committed to drawing in the like most like I don't want to say like the most relaxed way. Yeah, they're very relaxed and like, you know, expressive with their approaches actually. Even though they're very good, they didn't do any of this shit. It's crazy. It's always the people that draw in like the craziest ways that have 19th century artists as their inspiration. And it's so stiff at the end because obviously, of course it is, right? Like, there's no way, it's not like you can just get so good at construction and drawing that you keep pushing down this road and eventually you get to, like, Michelangelo drawings. It's just, it's a dead end. And I don't know, I kind of see parallels with that, too, in everything that I do, too. My cam circle is cropped. Wait, why is it that way? You know, you're just gonna have to deal with it, man. Yeah, this guy served some sort of sin in the past life, and he's like horrifically punishing himself. I think, yeah, that's a good way to put it. This is like demons whispering in your ear type of drawing. This is like prison jail cell walls writing like quantum mechanics equations type beat. You know what I'm saying? What's that prisoners? Where I'm not gonna get off topic here. I'm gonna start painting. Yeah, I mean, this must take dozens and dozens of hours. He was like, I had to crop stuff out of the video because I like couldn't like get it in time. This is the craziest thing I've ever seen. Like, where do people like this even come from? Like, where do you even learn to do this? Who's this guy's teacher? Yeah, and it's not possible to have like a level of like gesture and flow and like charisma through your drawings like, you know, the 19th century masters. A lot of these are like, they're just like 19th century paintings or older like Renaissance paintings that he's just putting Jimin into and like BTS people into. I don't really know anyone from BTS other than Jimin. Which is also very funny. All of this is just, it is the most BTS fan style of drawing possible. Just the most excessive and obsessive way that you could possibly think. The guy's probably like an architecture student or something. That would make sense to me, at least. How often do you do creative works without using reference? I mean, not using a reference for anything? Never. I mean, if I'm going to do something like creative, I mean, there's still going to be some point where I want like references if I want it to look good. I mean, maybe you could count like landscape painting, but I don't even landscape paint that much. I don't have like I don't know. I've been doing a lot of these other drawings that are more studying. Let me read this chat right here. It's better to be like, you know, the whole 19th century stuff too that I you know, I'm trying to point to is it's much better to be like a master of none but like good at everything than to be like this guy. Because just the values and the structure and the flow and proportions of stuff, it's impossible not to mess it up. No matter how good this guy gets at construction, like just, I don't know, the construction's not even correct too on a lot of stuff at the end of the day. It's so strange. I don't really know how you get there. He must just be like an architect or something. But like, you know, like the ribcage connection and stuff and the head. especially into this arm. Like it's not even. I don't know. Yeah, there's no need to self-flagellate. No need for self-flatulence. You know what I'm saying? Let's do some drawing. If David Goggins was an artist, that's based and true. I've been doing some Bargue copies and stuff lately. Ugh. I got this one I've been working on. I'm probably like 10 hours into this one. I'm just picking away at this stuff like an hour or two every morning, which has been very nice. I know I've been very quiet on social media. Oh, I can do a little channel update now too, that I'm here and yapping. I'm kind of quiet. That's because, so for the past like 6 months, I've been building like a, beginner's course, because what really frustrates me about making TikToks and the types of videos that I do is that, I just made the chat bigger so I can see it. What frustrates me about making the type of videos that I do is they have this like huge appeal, and then everyone's like, okay, like where do I start? Where do I go learn? And then I'm like, oh, well, like there's like a couple Proco videos I like, but like don't go too far down that route. And like there's, Stephen Bauman gives some good advice, but I wouldn't recommend going too far down that road. And then like, this person, like Cynics, so like Microbucci is great, but like, like before you start painting, you need some more like fundamental drawing stuff. And I just like, I don't have any advice at all to give people who like actually want to learn. So me and the guy who taught me how to paint, Ramon Hurtado, who's been on the stream many times, I've been building a course, and that's finished filming. And then I'm also making a website that's going to have a ton of free references for everyone, not just for the course, and some like written blog posts and articles and stuff. So I just hired a dev for the website today too. So that's going to be here May 1st, and I'm teaching a workshop at Underpaint next Saturday. It's a 2-week workshop. It's just like, if you guys just like want to take a class on drawing and learn a little bit about everything, for like your general approach to drawing, or like where to start, or what all the fundamentals are, that's going to be the place to do it. I'm super excited to teach that. I'm going to make some social media posts about that, but Underpaint Academy for that. Yeah, so that's happening next week. So the videos are coming, but I'm just trying to like build out this thing under me. That way I have something to make videos for. Just because, I don't know, I've been, it's very time consuming. But yeah, it's gonna be a huge Phoenix rebirth, consumption. I'm gonna consume you all, something like that. I'll be reborn very soon. Very soon. It's coming. It's very soon. Stephen Bauman. That's what I said. Nothing wrong with Bauman. Yeah, nothing wrong. I just like not a fan of the FAA stuff, and I think Bauman has gone further than the FAA stuff. Like I think his teaching is better, way better than FAA. Talking about Florence Academy. I'm just not a fan of Florence Academy techniques. I just think that it's like a bunch of peculiar history. It's not super accurate, and some of the stuff they do is very techniquey and very silly. For reasons that I've stated many times before. But nothing, yeah, just, I don't know. Yeah, after the Underpaint classes, you guys are going to get to keep those recordings. So nothing to, if you missed the live class or whatever, you have those recordings to keep. WTF, is he naked? Guys, am I naked right now? I have a dream that I'm naked on stream. All right, let's start doing some painting. We gotta lay in this background here. It's for the Discord challenge, by the way. Every 2 weeks we do a new challenge in my Discord. And this one is a copy of this portrait by John Singer Sargent. I normally try to rotate between like a figure painting, I can just scrub this in a little bit harder. A figure painting, a full figure drawing, a portrait drawing, and then like a cast drawing. I normally try to rotate between those two things, and then like every few months we do like a cast or a composition study. Oh God. By the way, I'm washed as hell right now. I have not painted in like 2 months probably. I think it's probably been about 2 months since I painted. So I don't know. This isn't gonna go well. That's for sure. But I'm just gonna, I'm doing my best and just having fun, and I'm more comfortable right now. I'm actually more comfortable right now than ever with my drawing skills, especially with the type of practice I've been doing recently. So that's nice. Background first, what? Yeah, especially because it's a black background too. Like, you want to be able to fill in your, like, you want to be able to set a reference point for like what the darkest darks are, and this is like pure black, so it's very nice. Easy place to do a reference, or to to be able to compare all of your lights and darks back, your skin tones back to. But background first is just nice, anyways, because then you can kind of like blur the edge too where you need to. You can lose the edge into the background pretty easily. That's what you can tell, like Sargent on the head right here on the photo. Sorry, on the head right here on the photo, you can't see where I'm pointing to. Like half of his brush is just like smudged with black. You think there's merit in doing master studies when your style is something completely different? Yeah, that's why I like realism. Like, not like fake modern day realism where you have like ultra photographic realism. That type of stuff where you're just copying is trash. But like 19th century realism, where you're just trying to like understand and use your fundamentals and just try to represent the character of what you have in front of you in a very like honest way. That's like just like the best practice ever, because it's just like purely going to the gym for drawing or painting or whatever. When I say drawing, I'm just like generally talking about really like anything. Wait, I want my headphones on, I think. Jake, don't piss me off. Is that what PMO is? I'm sorry, bro. I'm not trying to piss you off, man. Yeah, realism's just like going to the gym and like lifting weights. You don't have to be a realist artist. Most people that went to even to the French academies didn't, or maybe not most people, but a lot of the people went to the French academies did not become realist artists. They became like cartoonists and stuff like that, or illustrators or magazine designers, because that's where the money was. That's why realism's so great. But yeah, it's not about like just setting up like a projector and just like photocopying. There's no reason to do that. That doesn't really benefit anyone. So yeah, master copies are good, even if it's not your style. Maybe I have like a little bit too much solvent-free gel in here. Maybe I just need to use more black. This paint is really, really, really stiff. Just gotta beat the hell out of it. You gotta beat the. Is that what Bob Ross says? Does he swear like that? I wouldn't do that on my stream. There's no way he says beat the hell out of it. He probably says like beat the bugger out of it or something. You really gotta pack the paint in. Beat the devil out of it. Holy shit, thank you. I knew that didn't sound right. I've watched Bob Ross once for the time I did the Cynic stream with him, where me and Cynic's, whatchamacallit, we did a challenge where I was the traditional artist following Bob Ross, and then he did it in digital, and then we had some guy doing it in Blender, which was pretty funny. That's the only time I've ever watched Bob Ross in my life, I think. And I went to one of those like paint and instructed paint along things with my niece for her birthday a few years ago, and it was a terrible experience, man. These guys don't know shit about painting. Trash fundamentals, if you know what I mean. At the children's painting party, they were not instilling them with good design influences. Thanks for getting me back into doing art regularly. Hell yeah. Okay, so we got probably the next biggest like mass is the hair. It's like the flesh tones of the face, but that kind of divides into a few areas. So if we want to mass out the largest area next, it'd be the hair, which is brown. Maybe we can use a slightly smaller brush, but really not that much smaller. Maybe I shouldn't have only grabbed fan brushes. Well, we'll use this brush. I could get a different one, but it's fine. So I'll use burnt umber because that's brown. It's my advanced color mixing theory, guys. You're about to see it. Squint my eyes. It's darker. Okay, I'm gonna add dark. Let's see where that is. It's probably gonna be a little bit too dark. It needs to be like a little more orangey, yellowy. So I'll add a little bit of yellow ochre to start, and maybe a little bit of red. And look, probably getting close. I'm gonna add a little bit of red into here, and maybe a little bit more brown. I basically just made like a dark muddy brown. Probably needs to be a little bit more yellow now that I look at the reference. For kids, it's imperative to help encourage fun and art appreciation skills, or skills are moot. Yeah, I know. I'm just joking. I encourage, you know, people having fun experimenting with these ideas more than anything. Although I do like how, you know, I like how. Well, this is, I don't really know anything about, like, you know, Russia or Eastern Europe, but what people will talk about, like, these kids who are like born basically just to like compete in the Olympics, and they train super hard and they like burn out and like die at like a young age. It was a little bit dark, and like people say that they like push kids too hard over there, and that's probably 100% true. But I do really like how they do start kids out at a much younger age in a lot of these subjects at more like technical skills or like more fundamental building skills. So by the time you're like, you know, 10 or 12, you can totally start like still life painting and stuff like that. And cast drawing. I mean, they used to do that. I mean, it wasn't effective. That's why they stopped. But they did in the French academy, in like the French public schools. They used to teach cast drawing and plate copying and stuff. It just wasn't really effective, so they stopped. So maybe I don't know. It doesn't work. But I don't know. You can definitely teach kids younger. We don't do really almost anything. I think AP art is like a total joke. I wish my Asian parents forced me into a skill. I don't know. I've heard the opposite, but I can't relate to the experience, so I don't know. I need something a little bit. Probably bring this a little bit more towards the black side of the spectrum. I mean, pretty much, you know, areas like this right into the hair are like just straight up black. Let me check the music volume, make sure it's not too loud. Ah, it's perfect. The kids should just be lucky that they're not in the coal mines, you know? Any child should be happy that they're not in the coal mines, and they need to be more grateful when they pick up that brush for their 12-hour painting shift at school. This is my reality, okay? And it's not that bad, okay? Do we think not, guys? Is 9? Are we doing real God accusations?
Welcome back to the Mr. New Vegas show.
Let me think here. Well, we should probably just kind of work a little bit more generally and just mass out the whole of the hair. Let me just squint real far down. I'm probably not far off with where this brown is at. I'm gonna let this edge blend over a little bit softer, and then we get darker into this patch of the hair. This patch of the hair is probably on, roughly. We'll probably need to be like a little bit more yellow in these lighter areas. NCR sources say. I did some Legion playthroughs. I did some NCR playthroughs, you know. I think the NCR, well, that's not even like a moral. Obviously, the NCR are morally better. There's no question there. I can't sound like a good person for being like, I don't think the fascists who like kill and enslave everyone are morally bad. I probably don't win too many points for that one. Okay, darker masses of hair. Maybe there are muscles you would be better used by handling pencils rather than, or coal chunks rather than dinky little pencils. That's so true. They need to build stronger fundamentals by learning the source of charcoal in the mines. This is important discussions to be having about education. That was me when I played Frostpunk. First thing you do, unban child labor. Now you can have a prosperous society. Well, by prosperous, I mean one that doesn't die. It's an essential evil. Nothing will ever corrupt your morals like the first playthrough of Frostpunk. That was a genuinely very fun game. With how horrible of a dictator that makes you. It's great to watch yourself get corrupted by the forces of a harsh reality and just trying to do everything you can to hold your people together, no matter how unethical it is. How quickly you'll fall into propaganda and authoritarian, totalitarian dictatorships just to hold everything together. It works great too. I mean, it's just many powerful lessons about life. If you guys have ever played Frostpunk, is Frostpunk a painting simulator? Yeah, basically. Oh god, this is how long it's been since I painted. My oil, my linseed oil is oh my god, it's hard. What the fuck is it? Bro, I don't even know what this is, really. It should have just been mineral spirits. It's probably just like paint. I want a little bit of thing. I want a little bit of thing of mineral spirits. 1 second. Okay. Yeah, I moan every time I bend over, all right? I'm 25, okay? I'm old as shit. Sometimes I walk around the house and I just sigh. I just sigh really loud. And I'm not upset. It just feels good. It just feels right. It's in my blood. Okay? I'm 25. You'll figure it out later. Kids. I don't even know why I wanted to put mineral spirits in here, but sure. 25? Old? Yeah, I know, right? It's surprising how old I am. Yeah, Megalop's cool. He used terps too. Trying to read some chat. Guys, has anyone played Balatro before? I really shouldn't. I shouldn't take like 2 months off of making videos, except for like one, and then casually slip in that I just started playing Balatro because I think it makes me look. I did find Balatro about a few weeks ago, but it makes me look really really bad. I promise that I haven't just been playing Balatro, but I have been playing a little bit of Balatro here and there. But a man needs to relax. He needs. When I sit down on the couch and I go, oh, at the end of a long day, and I go. That's my time for Balatro. I need that in order to not be sighing all day. Okay, we need a skin tone here, which is like 9 out of 10. This is my skin tone brush. I like this one. Like 9 out of 10. We need like a good amount of it too, so I'm gonna grab a good chunk of paint here. Hey, all the people saying, what do you mean 25's old? Thank you for being a member. You guys are the only people old enough to be able to support for a membership. The rest of my audience is too young. So hey, the old heads out there, you keep us alive. You keep the channel breathing. Thank you. It's not old. It's a little old. We love you though. I'm becoming just like you. Don't worry. It's you know the top of the. I want to block in all the skin tones like pretty, and just like scrub them all in essentially. So this is like more yellow on top, and then we get more red in the middle, and then we get. I fixed this down by the way, so it's not smudging, and then we get like more desaturated grayish at the bottom. So I want to get that color exactly. I'm 25 and I feel old. I pitched Filatro to my gambling addicted uncle and it's genuinely helped. I mean, yeah, sure. That's good, I guess, yeah. Fuck yeah. On the other hand, I'm like, damn, I gotta start playing poker now, dude. That sounds fun. So I think it's a zero-sum game. You know, you lose one, you win one. I put a little black in here because I wanted to desaturate it, but I might have gone a little too far. Get a little bit of something in there. I can't get addicted to gambling because I won like. Again, this sounds like an anti. A lot of the anecdotes I give disprove what I'm saying like 3 seconds ago. I can't get addicted to gambling because when I was like 16, I won like $1,000 gambling on CSGO. And I actually cashed out. I stopped. I cashed out $400, made that, put that in my bank account, kept $600 because I was going to run it up again, lost it all immediately. But I think gambling proofed my brain during that. Like, I don't think I can get addicted to gambling because I already ran the gambit. There's nothing more for me to get. Now, that could mean that I'm, like, more predisposed to a gambling addiction. I'm way over-mixing the shit out of this, but, you know, it's just what it is. It's too dark still. Hold on. I gotta chill here. I got too excited talking about gambling. Vicky Vance Casino. I love the casinos in New Vegas, man. Nothing to do with the gambling conversation that I was just having. Is that? Hopefully that Discord sound isn't coming through. But if it is, let me go on D&D. It's like going from smoking a pipe to vaping. Yeah, that's better. It's like going from a cigarette and coffee in the morning to a Monster and Zen. It's probably it's technically better, and that's all you can hope for in life. Technically better. Okay, we're gonna scrub this in. This should be fine. Probably a little bit on the light side. It is a little bit on the light side. It's like right in between these two tones. Okay. Let's scrub this in on our lights. Jake don't draw too, but he just gambles. Yeah, it's like Roblox. It's like my second Roblox channel, but instead of Roblox, oh wait, we could combine gambling and Roblox. Because I feel like kids, like that's an untapped market for gambling. I don't think, has anyone thought of that? Like if we started getting kids gambling, like they would spend a lot of money. We might be able to break into that industry. CSGO had a strong grip on it for a while, but there might be something there for us. Oh, that's called gotcha. Yeah, never mind. Somebody already broke into that. I'm not clever. I'm not smart. I forgot that that's called Genshin Impact. My bad. I forgot someone already did that very well. Probably better than I ever could. Definitely better than I ever could. It's called Genshin Impact. Yeah. And they were smart. They were like, gambling in kids is good. Gambling and anime obsessed kids. I mean, that's just fucking genius.
Be sure it's true when you say
That is genius.
I love you. It's a sin to tell.
Like every time I think I have like a good, unique, original idea, I'm just, you know, whether it's painting or something, I'll just go and I'll look at an old painting. I'll be like, damn, these guys just did it better than me.
Just because these words
Paints are stiff as hell.
were spoken, I love you. Yes, I do. I love you. If you break my heart, I'll die. So be sure it's true when you say
You can only lose 100% of your money, but you can always win 1,000,000%. That was genuinely me. So here's a gambling story from yours truly. It's like senior year of high school or maybe junior year. I don't remember. I was taking the SATs and
You got sense enough to know it's a sin to tell a lie.
I was sat down in the school with my school laptop that morning before the SATs.
Folks hard.
And before the SAT started, I was like, okay, one coin flip on CSGO.lotto.com, $50. If I win the coin flip, I'm gonna do well on the SATs. If I lose the coin flip, I'm gonna do bad on the SATs. I lost the coin flip. My SAT score wasn't that great. Probably wasn't anything to do with the coin flip though. It was probably just to do with the fact that I didn't really study. It wasn't a terrible score, I don't remember, and I couldn't really tell you because the SAT score changes like the metric they use changes like every year, so it wouldn't really make sense. I think it was out of 14 or 1600 then, I can't remember. Yeah. I took the SAT again, but I don't think I studied. I studied probably like 2 nights. I was like, I'm just gonna rip it and get it. I did not rip it and get it. I mean, I had an okay score, but I was like an idiot in high school. I literally just did not study ever. I think that's a good color, actually.
Spotted flying over the rep contest site by a local crackpot. He spoke to a toy bear near one of our microphones. It's ghouls, I tell you. Religious ghouls in rockets looking for a land.
Religious ghouls. They're in the rocket place, man. And I never remember the name of this stuff. That's a great intro to the game, though. You got fucking Boone up in the tower.
Between the NCR and the Great Cause was resolved peacefully when a third-party negotiator successfully secured the hostages' release. That news was brought to you by the Tops Casino. You'll dig us, baby. We're the Tops.
A little bit more white, desaturate this area a bit.
Right now.
You're supposed to study. Thank you. That's a genius. I think DJ want to say thank you. You inspired me to draw portrait art, and I decided to try and draw a portrait for the first time. And my art teacher was impressed with it and displayed it. Hell yeah. It's going to be a lot better, the 100th portrait you make. The 100th portrait you make. It's fun. Yeah, keep going. That's awesome. I think with like a few simple techniques and ways of understanding, it doesn't have to be so complicated. So that's what we try to do. That's what we try to do here. I use any medium for a quicker dry. Sometimes I use alkyd, but I'm not here. Just because I don't really mix any medium into the paint that I'm using anyways, so there's not really a whole lot of. I'd have to like really be intentional about mixing it into the paint a lot in order to speed up the drying time, and that would be kind of annoying. But it's not like you can still work on it for the next day or two. It's not like you do one session, you're like locked out for like a week and a half. It's like touch dry in like 5 days or so, 3 to 5 days, depending on how quick you A little bit of blue. Depending on how thick you paint. It's touch dry in like 3 to 5 days. And you can keep working on it for like another day or two. You just don't want to work on it if it's like tacky and like half dry with like a film over it. That will cause your paint to crack if you try to work on it in that stage. But otherwise you're good. Alkyd makes it dry instead of 3 days or whatever. It will dry in like 3 to 5, and it will dry in 1 to 3 instead of 3 to 5, give or take. Depends on the pigments you use a lot too, so that changes it.
Beautiful right now. We've got some news for you coming right up. A big congratulations to a young band of soldiers who
A little bit more desaturated in this area.
on a combat readiness evaluation at Camp
Just trying to get that general color mass.
Also,
That's accurate.
according to a new report, violent crime is on a sharp decline in New Vegas. The report credits the decline of the population of fiends in the area. And possibly related news.
I squint and look back and forth. Yeah, it's nice because we want to be in like the mid-tone too. We don't want to be at the brightest point, so like there should be opportunity to put, more white paint on top.
You never know what's going to happen.
I know F all about oil painting. Can you paint over the dark background to fix proportions? I can, but I did a charcoal sketch first. That way I would hopefully not have to. Now I probably will, have to fix some stuff. I certainly will. But hopefully you don't want to be dealing with that stuff while you're in the painting stage. You're always going to have to some extent. But yeah, you can paint over anything pretty easily. Painting over, black directly, it's not the easiest. And actually, I've never used this. This is a Strathmore acrylic and oil painting paper. I've never used it before. And it's a little bit absorbent, which I'm not a fan of normally. But I can tell it sucks stuff in. So I could really easily just go right over the background there, no problem. I got spurs that jingle, jangle, jingle. Best song ever, probably. Other than like the Sinatra one. Ain't That a Kick in the Head? Is that Sinatra? That's Sinatra, right? Some boomer in chat will know. By boomer, I mean over the age of 25, and somewhat including the age 25. Let's see. Okay. Get that ear blocked in. It's much more red and lighter than the rest of the skin tone, so a little bit of red and white in there. That's a good block in. That's fine. Da, 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 da. I'll look at the chat in a second here. I could be a little bit neater about some of this stuff. I'm 6,000 years old. And Ain't That a Kick in the Head by Frank Sinatra or not? No, it's Dean Martin. Oh, it's Dean Martin. I didn't look at chat. No one even said it anyways. Are you using Sargent approach? Yeah, roughly, yeah. The general block in charcoal sketch, general block into the head. Sargent did draw. People will be like, he never drew. He drew and he trained how to paint through, drawing. So it's a little silly to. He certainly, later on in his career, I think he did paintings where he didn't do it under drawing. I'm sure on most of his paintings he did a quick charcoal sketch, or he already had preparatory charcoal sketches done before he started painting anyways. To figure out the pose and stuff. He did tons of those. For Madam X, he did like 30 charcoal sketches, yeah. Now, Madam X was early in his career, though, so, later on he might have not done that stuff quite as much. I'd say the face is like a little wide, too. The proportions of the sketch were crazy hard. Anyways, general charcoal sketch, and then you kind of mass in the largest groups in very simple colors, and then you paint directly with thicker paint, on top of that, and save the highlights and the lightest planes for last. That's just general academic technique. I'm like super fan brush obsessed. So I just bought like a pack of like cheap fan brushes and I've been using them like crazy. I just use them for everything. And then I like round brushes and I like filberts too. I don't like flat brushes that much, but flat brushes were the general technique, brush that they used in the 19th century. I think more than anything else was just bristle flats. How would you learn? Wait, hold on. How do you do eyelids? You just put them in the right spot. And just general drawing stuff, you know. I don't mean to be dismissive of questions like that, but it's just like general stuff that's better practiced in charcoal than in paint or in just a normal constructive drawing where you learn how to draw an eye. I wish I'd see these paintings on live. My books or internet images. Yeah, they don't. That's why I really searched super hard for this reference photo. You can find this reference photo on my Discord. It shows the paint thickness really well. I did see the Sargent show like a year ago, though. How would you approach learning to draw painting from imagination? I feel like my ability goes completely out the window when I try to just sit down, draw, and paint from imagination. Yeah, it's really hard. It depends on who your influences are, too. Like, the drawing painting from imagination is like this... it's a really difficult subject. I think people have a really fantastical idea of what drawing and painting from imagination is nowadays, too. That's just not super accurate to how people did it in history. Because we have like people are so good at it nowadays because of like the comic book industry and stuff like that, people can do it very, very well. But people just lack like the general like fundamental drawing training that that like everyone needs as a basis and that everyone used to get back in the day before they became illustrators too. One thing that people did a lot too is while doing, their like 10-hour long, 12-hour long figure drawings, and they weren't focused on super refined, shading and stuff. You can see, not really, but these drawings up on the wall. My light's right in the way. Those are like 18 by 24 A2 size. You can see them. Oh fuck, my HDMI cord. There we go. You can see them on my Instagram. They did those, like one of those every single week, and it's a 12-hour pose, which might seem like a long time to some of you Zoomers, but that's actually really short when you're working at 18 by 24. And if you look at how incredibly finished some of those drawings are, dude, they're fucking crazy good, like insanely modeled. And then you zoom in and you're like, how is that even possible? You'll zoom in on like a specific piece of anatomy and it's like incredibly simple and like barely done at all. So that type of training where they're like focusing on drawing and painting in the simplest and most efficient way possible is really good for training you to draw from imagination. And then the other thing they did was they sketched and tried to recall the things that they drew from life earlier in the day, in their sketchbook after. So just like a good habit of like always composing and doing little, loose, easy sketches in your sketchbook that aren't focused on details. But at the end of the day, if you want to do something that's like beautiful and realistic or has some level of like realism or naturalism, like you're gonna have to use some level of photo reference, and that's fine. Or drawing from life, doesn't matter. Yeah, I think people have like this idea that like, oh, everyone just did all this shit from imagination. No, like people from history, people didn't do stuff from imagination all that much. You have like Michelangelo and stuff, but don't compare yourself to him. There's even like a speech from the Bouguereau in the 19th century given to the French Academy where he's like, we shouldn't compare ourselves to Michelangelo and Raphael and Da Vinci because these were like impossibly great men of their time, and like instead we should focus on working to our strengths and being ourselves and bringing like art into the 20th century, which is really cool to hear from somebody like Bouguereau. Okay, we need to do the shadow side of the face and the mustache, the big iron on his hip. This one's Sinatra. Yeah, Ron Jia. Ron is really, really good. These guys are just like beasts, and I think you just have to flesh out like a layer of fundamentals and casualness and figure drawing and still life sketching and then also just practice little compositions and little stuff like just sketching on your own and having fun and being playful with those ideas if that's what you like to do. Just like develop a habit of doing that stuff on your own. It's you know, just
Gunderson was arrested in the Ultralux Hotel as a suspect.
I think people like put so much emphasis on like, oh, it's drawing from imagination, it's drawing from imagination. Like I have to sit down and draw from imagination, and they expect so much of themselves that like it's just impossible. Like you can't do it.
In other news,
You just can't do it. Like you can't just sit down and just like make a great drawing and painting. It's like something that needs to always be practiced, and just you need to have fun with it and do it for fun. And like eventually ideas will come out, and you can, you know, get them further and further, but you're always going to want to use some photo reference or you know, references to make it stronger. You want it to have some level of realism. You know, if these people who are really good at it are like illustrators in the game industry, and they literally just do that all day, where they have these different characters and poses and stuff memorized. The only reason they can do that is because they've done it like a billion times. Let me scrape. I accidentally pushed some skin tone into this corner. This is shadow. I always have a hard time navigating my palette knife into areas like that. I don't know what it is. I used to want to be a concept artist. Like, I was like, my goal as an artist is to become a concept artist as fast as possible, because that will allow me to make art for a living, and then I'll get really good because then I'll be making art all the time. Well, there's a few problems with that plan. One is like, I'm just not super motivated to be a concept artist. Like, no matter, I think a lot of that stuff is really fucking cool, but like, I was just never super motivated to just sit down and make my own original stuff and like, you know, have a strong creative voice in that field. And I forced it so hard. I put myself through so much anguish trying to like force, you know, that spirit in me, and I was just never good at it, and my drawings were always a mess, and like, I just was not creative at all, and I didn't get it. And there are people who do push further and further down that, but then they become some like mid-level concept artist because they're not super passionate about it, and they don't get better at art once they start working at a studio. They just get better at the type of art that they have to, you know, commercially make. They don't actually like, it doesn't train you to do anything other than the thing that you know, have to do for a job. It doesn't make you like that much better of an artist. It's not improving your fundamentals or your creative voice in any way.
You're listening to Radio New Vegas, your little jukebox.
So
Wasteland.
it's a little bit of like, you know, a false dichotomy where you think you can just like push, and then you'll eventually like get there, and then you'll have it figured out. But it just doesn't really wind up working that way. If you are passionate about it and you do enjoy doing it and you like doing that stuff for fun, then you can become great and do that stuff and, you know, exceed in that world and keep getting better. But if you're forcing yourself to do it, then you're better off finding what it is that you actually like to do. For me, it was this type of stuff. And if I did anything but this type of stuff, I would never have, you know, been able to push as hard as I could have. And now if I want to become, you know, concept artist or whatever, I understand the stuff at a deeper level, you know, art fundamentals at a deeper level. So I could, you know, not immediately, but I could learn how to do that stuff now if I wanted to. It's easier for me to make the transition now. These brushes are the only brushes you need for the only brushes you need. I was just banning someone who's said Ligma about 40 times in chat. The only brushes you need for painting a realistic work is just like hog bristle brushes, just normal bristle brushes. Yeah, I mean, there's really like, you can get like expensive sable brushes and stuff like that, and they are useful. Like, you will use them some amount of the time, but like maybe those brushes you use like 5% at the end. Like 95% of your work is bristle brushes, and you don't need really any soft brushes if you don't want to. Having a couple synthetic brushes or synthetic sables is nice, but I almost never use them. And you can get like crazy soft paintings without them. You know, softness in your paintings people think comes from softer brushes, but it doesn't. It comes from like values that are like closer together. It doesn't matter how soft the paint is put down. If your values are gradated well, if you have really good value and color choices, you can make it look impossibly soft. I think that's the thing that really, really throws people off and confuses them. They just think that they can just get there. You know, no matter if you're putting down the wrong choice, it doesn't matter how soft your brush is. Like, it's just never going to look right. If you're putting down the right choice, you can put it down really quite recklessly, and it doesn't matter. This shadow side of the face is more red, so I'm adding more red, and it's also kind of purplish, but I think it's just more like desaturated, so I'm just putting black in and white to make gray, because gray is desaturation. And then I'm going to put more red in to make it more purpley. I could put a little bit of blue in there too if I wanted to, but I don't think that there's actually blue in there. It needs to be lighter. Those aren't Tinder notifications on my iPad, by the way. Those are Hutstock notifications for trying to get a GPU. It just has a little fire symbol, so it looks like the fucking Tinder logo. I need this to be... We're getting there, we're close. Let me scrape that down. Keep adding a little bit more white until it's lighter. I'm probably like on for the hue. Just need to be careful to make the right value choice here. They're not Tinder notifications, they're Grindr notifications. Don't paint with your fingers. Dude, there's this guy. Do you guys know Pluvium? I mentioned him if you guys watch my color picking stream. He's really fucking good at painting. Pluvium is really good. Pluvium. Great painter. Guy knows his shit. He leans more towards like the entertainment and like kind of stylized anime style. He's a nice guy, and he's got a big art server similar to mine, and maybe that side of my face, it's more orangey red. It's a really confusing color. I think it needs to be a little bit wider too. I'm too light. I'm getting pulled out of whack here. Anyways, sometimes I hang out in a server every once in a while, and someone like asked me a question about oil painting. And I tried to explain some stuff to them and like, you know, explain some basic materials. They were working on an oil painting and they didn't know like anything at all about oil painting, like even like the most basic materials and pigments and stuff. So I explained some of that stuff, and I normally just troll on that server, to be honest. I just fucking troll. And then a couple days later or something, they added me and they showed me a picture of their painting, and they had their hand out in front of the picture like this, and their hand was like covered in paint. And I was like, this is bad. I was like, what are you doing? They're finger painting. They're doing the whole painting with just their fingers. And it was a big painting too. It was like A2. It was like 18 by 24, like this big. And they're doing the whole painting with their fingers. I was like, why are you doing that? And they were like, oh, I don't like brushes. I don't like how they feel. I told them I can't help them anymore. After that, I was like, I can't help you anymore. Like I need somebody who's like at least grounded in reality to take my advice. I can't spend my time giving out advice to somebody who's just like not even using brushes. He's painting a mural now too. Oh, Pluvium is, not the finger painting guy. These brushes, by the way, what got me started, I bought these brushes on fucking AliExpress. I just buy like if I go to the art store, I just get really cheap brushes. Yeah, if I go to the art store, I just get like the cheapest like discount brushes they have. So sometimes I'll just buy like super cheap like Chinese import brushes online.
The reporter was on hand to speak with the king.
I feel so bad. I think it's time we reconsider.
I feel so bad.
This is Mr. New Vegas filling in for Mr. New Vegas.
I wonder if they I don't think they have any Elvis songs in the New Vegas radio. It's too dark still. Damn, that color fucking sucks. Maybe a little bit lighter. I don't know. Where's my black? I can't be telling stories and explaining stuff and getting accurate drawing and colors and stuff. Actually, I don't need to cope. I won't cope. I'm washed. I'm fucking washed. I haven't painted in 2 months, alright? It's gonna take me a minute to dial in on these colors. You do the halftone on the left side of the face, and this is like, this eye is too far up, so I need to just take in a halftone plane for the left side of the face. It's like a 4 out of 10 value. If I squint my eyes and group this whole group together, it's like a 4 out of 10 value. It's yellowish, mostly just like a desaturated yellowy brown. So it's something like yellow ochre, white, probably not even that much yellow ochre, a little bit of brown, probably not even that much brown. It's very grayish. Whichever one of you guys right now that has an idiot teacher that says that you shouldn't use black and you should just mix chromatic blacks, tell your teacher that they're dumb and they've never read any history book in their life. Everyone has always used black for the entirety of human history. There's no reason to mix chromatic blacks. A little bit lighter at the transition. Black is a perfectly fine color and it doesn't ruin your colors at all. You just need to know how to mix.
Mr. New Vegas. And in case you're wondering if you've come to the right place,
If black is desaturating your color, it's just because you put the wrong color down.
may have been assassinated by an unknown party. It is currently not known how the assassin was able to evade security. Once again, Caesar dead. A shocking turn of events.
This comes over like this. It's just a slope across the face like this.
A large unidentified aircraft has been seen circling the
Also, the absorbency of this canvas is weird because now I have like hard edges between everything and I can't merge too much. I like a little bit more of a slippery surface that will let the paint stack up on top. I can also just take another brush too. Mix it up straight.
You never know.
Yeah, people will be like, oh, you can't use black. You just have to mix your own. And then they have like the worst, most like gray middle values ever. They're like, you need black. You need it. It's very apparent to everyone that you don't have it on your palette. Your values are way off. I don't even know. I need to know like where the origin of that statement comes from. People will say like the modernists, not the early impressionists. The early impressionists use black all the time. And like the abstract modernists use black. I'm sure, Picasso and stuff did. I have no idea where that comes from.
As though it were now or never. Teach me.
The same people that say don't use black in your palette, just mix a black, then we'll go, there's no rules in painting. There's no rules. You can do whatever you want as long as it's not having black on your palette. As long as you're not trying to be a realist artist or having black on your palette, because that's already been done. People already did that, and there's no rules, so we don't do that anymore. Yeah, ivory black is the best because it has like a little cooler tint to it. Well, it is art. Why do people say you can't do this or that? Well, I mean, if you're trying to make something that looks realistic, if you're just doing whatever you want, then do whatever you want. What are you supposed to say about that? Of course, but if you're trying to make something that looks realistic, then you should probably like abide by the laws of reality, right? That's kind of what I try to I try to do. You know, like light falls off at a certain rate. It's not linear. If you take like a plaster sphere and you put a light on one side, there's going to be a terminator line where the light turns into shadow, and then the light is going to fall into shadow, and it doesn't just fall off from like 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 on a value scale. It falls off like 9, 9, 8, 8, 7, 6, 4, 1 on a value scale. That might not make any sense just saying that out loud, but I made a whole video about it in my new course that's not out yet, and I can't even sell you on. But I will talk about it in my underpaintacademy.com workshop coming up next weekend. Oh my god. 2-week workshop with Jake Don't Draw online. You get to keep the recordings. Holy. The greatest transition in all of history. It's very cheap. It's a nice little starter thing.
But in a shocking turn of events, the dam has been rendered useless, and both sides have taken heavy casualties.
You want to learn the basics of how to draw.
Appears to have
It's a good place to start.
The dam are telling us that the
It's gonna be like, you know, maybe 7, 8, 10, probably like 7, 8 hours of content over 2 weeks.
all I have for you. This is Mr. New Vegas.
How will you paint the next layer without it drying? You don't gotta wait for oil paint to dry. In between. The whole like layered oil painting grisaille thing is just a bunch of people who don't know anything on TikTok trying to make Instagram reel content because they don't know, they're just trying to make content, but they don't have anything to make content about. You can just paint, you can paint directly on top of the paint, the correct color. Yeah. Needs to be darker. That's how everyone's always painted. And then, you know, if you want to like do some glazes and stuff, if you need to like adjust some, you know, glazing really is in a lot of ways it's like an adjustment tool. If you miss a color and you need like a whole area to be more red or something, hell yeah, dude, add a glaze. Has it already been an hour? Holy shit. If you need like a whole area to be more red, sure, you know, add a glaze. But you can wait like a week after a dry, you know, for it to dry to do that. For the most part, you can just paint over. You don't gotta like, oil painting is not like a slow lethargic process that needs to be built up in layers. That's just something that people say because they don't have anything else to say. Also, this paper is very absorbent. It's very weird. Who makes a painting paper and then makes... Oh, because it's probably for... It's an acrylic paper, so it probably wants to be a little bit absorbent for water. But it really dulls out my values. Should I, like... I can't oil out a wet surface. Makes it really hard when the surface isn't oily and wet. It makes it really hard to see what your values are because they're all matte like this. So like a wet oil, you guys can see how much darker this is right here probably. A wet oil, that's, you know, let's say that's 0 out of 10 on our value scale. Now this is like 3 out of 10, but they're the same thing, you know? I like grisaille because I'm scared of color, yeah. Oil up? You guys want me to oil up right now? Should I just, you know, fuck this whole stream thing. Let's just pop the shirt, linseed oil up. Let's do it, guys. Someone said oil up for the 400th time. I'm gonna do it this time. Yeah, I don't, yeah. A lot of ateliers, I'm making enemies. I just made enemies with everyone in the art world. After that ARC video, man, I'm not getting any gallery shows. I'm not getting any Arcadia shows for a long time. But a lot of ateliers are basically McDojos for art. They just teach a lot of stale, dry, non-critical art techniques that just really like burn people out on art. But the problem is there's just nowhere better to go. Just, that's sad. It brings me back to patrolling the Mojave Wasteland, man. Real ones know. Real ones know what it's like to patrol the Mojave Wasteland. Alright, we're getting there. Let's try to get all these remaining colors blocked in. Each day I love you more.
Yes, I've got heartaches by the number. A love that I can't win. But the day that I stop counting, that's
Hit the guy Trump orange by accident.
heartache number one.
I took some classes at Watts a while back. I just don't like how systematic they are. Everyone agreed on the oil up? You guys won. But the first layer of color comes out when I try to do the second layer while the first layer is not dried yet. You're probably just adding too much oil. This is the problem. People add a bunch of oil and shit to their paint, and then they try to paint into it, and it just blends and smudges in. You need to just paint straight out of the tube. Don't be adding all that stuff to your paint. You need to know, like, that type of stuff has a purpose. The purpose is not what you're using it for. Yeah, just paint straight out of the tube. I know it's stiff. It takes a little bit more work to, like, beat the devil out of and get it, worked into the surface properly, but that's what you gotta do. Because you can paint over any surface as long as it's thicker than what's under it. But if everything's oily, you can't do shit. I'm really not enjoying how matte the surface is getting, but we'll keep running it. We gotta keep running it. All right, let's get the lips blocked in. Troubles that I can. Oh, that's the wrong lyric.
Yes, I've got heartaches by the number. A love that I can't win. But the day
Dude, imagine just playing Fallout New Vegas while your parents are like divorcing in the room next to you. Nostalgic vibes. Beautiful nostalgic vibes right there. You got this soundtrack going on. Good times, man. Good times. I'm mixing the lip color. How do you use oil anyways? Well, normally you want to start out the first layer of a painting. If you're going to thin with anything, you should thin with mineral spirits or turpentine. And that's because that stuff dries fast, so that if you do put it on the canvas, it won't smudge. Hopefully it'll evaporate off the canvas fast enough that when you go to make something over it, it will not be wet still and it will smudge. And then later stages, you start doing more and more oil until, like, if you're gonna do multiple sessions, on your last session, you would be all oil. And that's because those later ones are gonna be like thinner and more subtle and like semi-transparent and stuff, so. Lips really aren't this dark, but I'm gonna just get this down. How it felt to be alive in 2010. Yeah, it was 2008, but we all got our timelines. Oh, although Fallout New Vegas might have not been out then, actually. When did Fallout New Vegas come out? It was probably like 2010. Because Skyrim came out 2011. And New Vegas had already been out for at least 2 or 3 years before that. Alright, let me carve out the underside of these lips here. I just want like a general tone in for everything, and I'll come back through in a minute, piece by piece. And I can also just like push my edges together too. I can take my general skin tone. A little bit muddy now. With the fan brush and just pull an edge together. For underwater painting stream, yeah, watercolor. I'm trying to read some chat messages here. The reason why you can't move your brush and like move your paint is because it's not because the paint's too thick, it's because you're using like cheap synthetic brushes. You need to use bristle brushes, hog bristle brushes, or natural bristle brushes. Natural bristle brushes. That's why you can't move them. You're using synthetic brushes. They're not strong enough. They're made for acrylic and stuff. Now all my dark colors have dried and they've gotten significantly lighter in the drying process because they're sunken in super hard and absorbed into the page. But I mean, relative to the sunken in black, they're probably not that far off, but damn it, I just bought this whole pad of paper. I was super excited. This shit sucks. I'll push it down in value a little bit here. I guess I'll go back to priming my own canvas. Honestly, working on like a rough weave linen is it's unmatched. It's so much better than anything else. So you have to like keep putting black down next to it to compare what the value even is. Oh well, we'll keep pushing. It's always a weird stage. There will be another Dark Fantasy video. Just give me another couple years. If you're using a bristle brush, you should be able to move the paint. This is really stiff paint here. You just gotta muscle it around, I think. Yeah, oil paint, you gotta push. You gotta push it around. You really can't, like, everything will just start merging together with a synthetic brush. It's just it's a mess. This just gives me a lot of strange issues. Whatever, I'll finish color blocking and then I'll figure out what I want to do from there. Let's get that mustache in. It is a medium mid-tone brown. I'm gonna mix everything a little bit darker than I want, I guess, because it's gonna dry lighter. Needs to be reddish and brownish and blackish. And maybe I'll put a little bit of oil in there too. Yeah, synthetic bristle, I'm sure it's fine. It just needs to be like, thick enough. It doesn't have to be hog, I don't think. I'm honestly not sure. I don't pay any attention to the materials I get, and probably half of these are synthetic. Honestly, they're just the cheapest ones around. Needs to be more red, more brown. Maybe a little bit of yellow ochre in there, make it more brownish. And a little bit more yellow ochre, keep lightening this up, and as it gets lighter, it's gonna go more towards that orange strategy. What's up, JDD lover? It's a cool name, dude. It's a cool name. It's cool as fuck.
It's a sin.
How's my health? I'm good. Yeah, I've just been working on a lot of stuff behind the scenes right now, and we're getting really close to stuff. I think May 1st, hopefully, everything should be good, and then I'm gonna just start spamming videos again and making lots of reels and stuff. I'm super excited. I really missed making reels, actually. I made a couple for Underpaint. I'm gonna make one more this week. Maybe that's what I'll do tomorrow. Making reels is really nice because I really try way too hard on videos, and I love doing it, but it just takes everything and more from me, and everything always balloons out into a ridiculously huge idea that's super hard to execute and just kills me for a month straight, and then I gotta jump right back into the next one. So it's really fun doing reels, and just like I can just take an idea from start to finish in one day. I really need that. And I have so many good reel ideas that I've been writing down over the past year. I just write everything down. It's really helpful. Where's my lighter? So those are all gonna come out. May 1st will be big, May 1st will be big. It's coming. And hiring a web dev is really, really huge. I'm super excited about that. It takes like a huge load off my shoulders. So I was about to spend like a month trying to like make a website. That just was not gonna be good enough. I need a clean brush to like hit the edges between things. My tutors failed to make me understand. Yeah, so white paint is not, so no color is any color. Let me just say that. Everything's relative to each other in painting. So same with values. All values, are only relative. They only make sense when you put it next to something. Like one individual point floating in space, there's no context to understand that. I need a fresh paper towel. So the same thing exists with how dark or how light something is, and the same thing exists with color. So there's many different types of black, and there's many different types of white. There's many different types of red and yellow. I'm using actually I'm not. The most common white that you should use, and probably for 95% of you should just use titanium white. Titanium white has its drawbacks. It is not the best white. Well, it is probably the best white. It's the most well-rounded white. But the side of the mouth here needs to get cut in. I just can't see where the edge of my face is. It's so annoying. That's because titanium white is titanium dioxide. It's actually the same thing used in food coloring. So it's a very safe white, and it mostly in the 20th century, I believe, maybe late 19th, but I think 20th century, it mostly replaced lead white, which is what everyone used before, which is white made out of lead, which is obviously not super safe. Now, lead has some really unique characteristics that's made it very good for painting for a very long time. So those characteristics are that it's very thick and tacky. You can mix it into like thick impastos, and it keeps its shape really well. It keeps nice brush strokes, has really good body to it. And it also dries very fast, which makes it very, very, very good for painting, especially like doing underpaintings and stuff with lead white. It'll be dry the next morning. Lead white and burnt umber will be dry like the next morning. It's very nice. Now titanium white replaced that, and titanium white mimics a lot of what lead white does. Also, lead white is a very neutral white too. So when you mix lead white with stuff, it keeps the authenticity of the color that you mixed it with. It doesn't influence the color that much. Titanium white replaced lead white, and that's what most of us use nowadays, and it's not as good. The biggest problem with it is that it's very opaque compared to lead white. So lead white, it doesn't change the color that you mix it with a lot. Titanium white, it influences the color that you mix it with. It makes it a lot more cool and blue. and it's more overpowering too, so it desaturates a lot harder. Yeah, it desaturates a lot harder. I'm using titanium white here. 99% of people are not good enough to ever notice the difference. And so you should use titanium white because it's safer and it's fine and you can still learn how to paint with it just fine. Another alternative that you can use is something called zinc white. Zinc white is, it solves a lot of the problems that titanium white has. So zinc white is more transparent and less tinting strength, and it's than titanium white, making it a lot more similar to lead white. So it keeps the authenticity of the colors that you mix it with a lot better. But sometimes you want to just mix white into stuff and make it more white. And lead white and zinc white are both very annoying for that because you have to mix a fuck ton of it into the paint in order to make it more white. So, you know, no one pigment does it all. You know, if there's no one pigment that does everything. And titanium white just serves it just fits the bill for 99% of stuff. So I recommend you just use it and don't complain. If you want to try some stuff out, you can try doing a zinc white, and this white that I'm using here is actually a zinc titanium mix, which is kind of cool. Don't ask me what brand it is though, because I bought it off AliExpress. It's from China. It's a Maries. Maries is the brand. That's the same brand. They're a very popular painting brand in China, actually. They're what everyone paints with in China. Well, they, you know, for the fancy, expensive stuff for them, it's like Winsor & Newton, which is not, you know, fancy and expensive for us. Although it's probably get cheaper because they moved their factories there. Yeah, the video will stay up on YouTube. Yeah, I mean, like cadmiums are another pigment that's expensive, or that they used to use all the time in the 19th century. Or we still use cadmiums. I got cadmiums on the palette here. It's just that the cadmiums they used to use back in the day for red and yellow, they used to pack a lot more of this cadmium metal into it, and it was significantly more deadly. Nowadays, cadmium pigments, they're processed in a way where they don't actually have a lot of cadmium in them. And the cadmium that is in them, it's mixed in a way that makes it very hard for the human body to absorb. So, cadmium paint is actually pretty safe nowadays. Just don't like regularly eat it. You can eat it every once in a while on accident, and that's probably fine. Yeah. And then reds have been a problem throughout history, I think, saturated reds, because they used to use mercury sulfide too for red, which is vermilion, Chinese vermilion. Chinese vermilion is literally poison. That shit literally kills you. It's really bad for you. And that's really hard to find nowadays. Even lead white's hard to find nowadays, but you can get it. You have to get I think probably Old Holland or whatever has a mercury sulfide paint. Yeah, you can make your own lead white. But if you really want to try lead white, I recommend that you can mix something called a calcium carbonate white, and calcium carbonate is just white chalk, and you can mix that with Mel Gibson. It's this medium. It's just like a thick body white that doesn't really tint at all. You mix calcium carbonate with that and some oil, and you basically make a white chalk white, and that really can be super close to a lead white. Ben Valentine has a free video on it on his website. That's really good, and he showed me that recipe. I made a TikTok a long time ago showing how to make that, but that's where I got the recipe from, was from Ben. So, go check out Ben's stuff if you want to learn about that. And they used to do that all the time back in the day too. People used to do weird stuff all the time. they would mix like sand or glass or silica or chalk into their paint all the time, because they were hand making these paint with like pestle and mortar every morning. So you know, they were just mixing whatever the hell they wanted into it. I think you could use like egg whites too for the calcium carbonate. Yeah, so people used to mix stuff into their paint to get certain qualities all the time. Like sand and silica, I think, was pretty important. Like silica's inside sand, so it's probably the same thing. Nowadays, you just go to the store and you just buy it. And you really probably, to be honest, really great painters don't need to be good chemists anymore. And if it's something that you find interesting, cool, but learning about all that stuff does not make you any better of a painter. So I recommend you just get whatever the bare minimum you need is, and then just spend your time learning how to paint. It's much more efficient. Much more efficient. One of my least favorite discussions is just talking about oil painting pigments. Because somebody new will come into the Discord and they'll be like, hey guys, I'm like really new to painting and I want to try it for the first time. Like, what do I need to get? And someone will be like, well, you need emerald green phthalo straight from the mines of South Africa, from Elon Musk's dad. And then you need cadmium red and a tinge of dark bell end purple. And it's just like, you're scaring the hose, bro. You're scaring the hose. Just give them like a Zorn palette and blue and just send them on their way. Like, chill. People are just way too much about that type of stuff, and it's not helpful. Did I get a member? Yo, thanks, Lilia. You're scaring the hose, man. Thanks, Lilia, for becoming a member. I personally love you. You'll get an email it's an automated email in about 20 minutes with my phone number. Just one of the many perks we have. I'll info dump about this stuff whenever you want. Just give me a ring. Through 94. Holy shit, it's 1 to 19 more. I thought it was 1 to 94. I thought it was like he was on a huge kill streak. It's 20. Not even a tactical nuke. It's the same mix again, just a different YouTube video. I didn't at you, Vanilla. Thankfully you found your way. Can you do more charcoal drawings? I'm doing a lot of them right now. I don't know if you see my Instagram, but I've been doing a lot of charcoal drawings. I just haven't done them on video. So my bad. It's been a very nice way for me to get back into drawing and stuff. I've really been improving again now that I'm actually, you know, following in the footsteps, or I'm just training in the same way that they were in the 19th century, doing the same type of drawings, same materials, and yeah, it's been really nice and motivating, and it's been really pushing me to get back and keep improving and stay excited about this stuff, because it's just the content, the editing and stuff. You know, it's really easy for me to go like a full month if I'm working hard on a video. It's easy for me to go like a month without drawing, so it's been really nice. I showed a Bargue that I was working on earlier. I know the YouTube videos are slow right now, guys. I said this earlier, but oh, thanks, Ellie. That's nice. Single-handed me. Maybe we want to draw again. I said this earlier, but a lot of people are here now. But you know, I've been slow the past 2 months on YouTube because I have been. You know, one of the most frustrating things for me is just like how broad of a reach. You know, how many beginners like get back into drawing because of me, and then they ask me like where do they want, you know, where to learn, and they just don't. I don't have anywhere good to send them. I really don't like anywhere online. I think a lot of courses are just like super techniquey and they just focus on weird shit, or like, you know, these they're very complicated and they're super pretentious and we're this atelier and we do this and you know, the old technical technique, and then it's not even the old school style, it's their own weird thing that they've adopted. Or it's just really strange, you know, Riley rhythm stuff I'm not a fan of. So anyways, I've been working for like the past 6 months with a guy who taught me how to paint. He's really one of the best teachers out there, to make our own course, and it's really good. We finished filming. I'll show the final demo, actually. I'm really happy with how this came out. I don't want to get paint on it. Let me get a paper towel. I'm super happy with how this one came out. Mr. Ramon Hurtado. That was a good rolled R. I can't roll my R's. That was sick, actually. I'm never doing that again. I hit it. This was the final demo I did, and Ramon did a really great one too, for the course. This is in Sanguine, and yeah, it's just like the website's gonna have like a free reference database for anyone. So even if you don't want to spend money on it, you know, that's still gonna have free reference stuff for everybody, and some free written guides. I'm gonna have like a blog section on there, because nobody goes to websites anymore. Like, when was the last time you typed in like a website URL that wasn't, you know, Reddit, YouTube, or I don't know what else, Facebook Marketplace? Those are the only valid websites. But when I was learning how to draw, you know, one of the only websites I can remember going to was actually like Croquis Cafe and stuff, like reference websites. So yeah, we have all these like free cast references in my Discord, but I want to kind of make them better and put them on that site. So I got somebody cooking that up soon, and yeah, it's gonna be huge. So I'm just like, I'm knee deep in that project, and I just hired a web dev, and that's coming out soon. May 1st, everything's gonna come out, hopefully. It's a little bit sketchy putting out. I think I'm feeling very confident that we can do it by then. Stir up to stir up side by side. So yeah, it's huge. That's where I've been. And then once that's out, I'm gonna go sicko mode, demon mode on content, okay? I'm gonna go demon mode on content. I have a lot of reels and TikToks and you know, short form stuff I want to make, and then I have a big video that I was working on for a while. I honestly haven't touched it in a little while, but I'm gonna get back to it, and that video's it's gonna be crazy. I'll make more YouTube videos, and then more YouTube videos, and then more YouTube videos, and then yeah, I might pick up like alcoholism or something after that. I'm not sure. Haven't figured it out yet. And then, you know, once you get some like tone down too, you can just use the fan brush on the edge of something and hit the edge. You don't want to do it too much. There's really no reason for me to like soften edges with a fan brush right now or push one edge into another. I can still like keep pushing these tones down quite a bit. What I want to do is I can add a darker tone into here, and that's going to push the inside of the eye socket in. So let's do that. I need a brush. I have so many brushes, and they're all just like brown. How did I fuck up this bad? I gotta clean these. That one's for fan brushing. This one is my brown brush, and then this one's also my brown brush, and then this one is just dirty. And then this is my other brown brush. And then this one it looks like I've used for brown, so yeah, let's clean these. Yo, Cosmic Death, thank you. Cosmic, your Sargent painting was crazy, man. I'm certainly getting my ass kicked. I already said I'm washed. I'm getting my ass kicked by, I don't know what the hell this challenge was on my Discord, but it brought out like all these crazy, you know, people are tryharding so hard. There's a lot of paintings that are just gonna straight up be better than mine. I even saw like Kailun Shu in my in the voice chat the other night showing off his copy of it. It's like a lot of people that are way too good to be in my Discord. I'm very confused. You guys are scaring away all the beginners. Jake, are you an underpainting type of guy? Vanilla, are you a band type of girl? Because you're band. I mean, technically this is like an underpainting. And now I will overpaint it. Guys, what do you think about the name? I don't want to hear your thoughts on it. I was going to ask you the name of the website because I think we just settled on one yesterday, but... They are the same ones. The videos for members on my channel here, it's like the first half of the course. That course is discontinued as soon as this new course comes out. I filmed that course like a year ago. The content in it's really good. It's just like, I just wasn't very good at like making videos yet, so the editing and the camera's work is not great. So it's super cheap, and I uploaded it, half or 3/4 of it for members. Yeah. But that's what that is, and then that course will get discontinued. I might upload it all here on YouTube. I don't know. I'm kind of paralyzed by wanting everything that I do to be really good, and so if something's not up to my standards... But like I thought that course was like not great, and then I watched it back to try to like add some stuff into it, and I was like, for the price, this is actually like all pretty good content, and I'm like not, I'm happy with a lot of it. So I don't know. I'm too critical of stuff. But anyways, yeah, if you want to get that course for cheap, you can get like 3/4 of it for $5. You should make a portrait of LeBron. A lot of people talking about LeBron lately. If all courses are too techniquey, where do you go? I recommend people to go for help. That's the fucking problem, isn't it? I'm just a cynical dickhead. I don't know, man. I don't know the answer. I love Ramon Hurtado. I love Devin Corwin, Underpaint Academy. Although that stuff doesn't lean into like realist painting super hard. It's just me and Ramon who do stuff over there because we're friends with Devin. Devin's a great guy, super good teacher. Devin and Ramon have, if you need something right now, Devin and Ramon have a course on Underpaint Academy. They already did it live, but the recordings are available. It's like a complete beginner's course. That's really good. Did you do a BFA? Hell no. I did like 1 year of state school, and then I dropped out because I wasn't learning anything. Because they really don't teach anything in like BFA programs in American schools. If you want to learn how to do like representational drawing and painting, there's really, I'm telling you, like, especially when you start to factor in the price, even if it's a state school, it's absolutely insane. It's not worth it at all. Yeah, they just don't. All those programs are run from people, or they're run by people who learned how to draw in the 60s, and it's a mess. I again, cynical asshole, I know, but I'm right. Okay, it's hard not to be a cynical asshole when you're black-pilled and right about everything. It's so hard to be so handsome when you're so beautiful and good at everything. But I still do it, And humble. I'll just do a little squint check. Just do a little squint check. Oh, thanks, Peter. The course, you like the academic drawing course? Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I think the content of the course is strong stuff for beginners. I have like production standards now that must be arbitrarily met for no reason. And now we'll put this darker halftone in here and make this could be like a little bit more orangey. Put some yellow ochre in there. This shit, dude, PMO pissed me off so much, and somebody, ICL, what's ICL at this point? It scrolled up. Jake, do you have a secret model mistress you make romantical paintings with? And if you do, what's the guy called? There's a lot of wishful thinking going on in there, buddy. There's a lot of wishful thinking in there. Yeah, anyone can buy a Bargue book and look it up. You can get all the plates online for free. They're on the French Archives website, Gallica, in mega high resolution. You can get the whole Bargue, every Bargue plate for free. Just the thing I don't like, people do the Bargue plates all wrong. You know, like Bargue. So the Bargue plates were developed by John Leon Jerome and Charles Bargue. John Leon Jerome is like basically director, is like the head teacher of the French Academy of Fine Art, late 19th century, one of the most influential teachers of all time. And Bargue is a guy. He's a guy. He's just good at drawing and painting. I think he must have went to the academy. He's kind of an enigma. I don't think know too much about Bargue's up and coming life. But anyways, he's just good, and he was a printmaker. And so he made lithographs and stuff. And so him and Jerome worked to turn a bunch of exemplary student and teacher drawings into this book of, basically perfect drawings with like the early ones have like another panel to the left that shows like a simple block in. It's like a tutorial basically. And yeah, they're meant to be copied to, learn how to draw. But the people do really weird shit with them nowadays. It's the type of stuff I don't like to see from ateliers. Is they will just use all these strange techniques like, like sight size, where they'll line up the drawing next to it exactly, and transfer over all the measurements. They'll have it like 1-to-1 next to each other and transfer over all the measurements, same size, same scale. That's not how they drew in the 19th century. It's not how it was intended to be done. People almost universally draw it on the point. By on the point, I mean they draw with a long, sharpened out graphite or sometimes nitrum charcoal, Florence Academy. They'll draw with a super long, sharpened out, perfectly sharpened, pointed piece of charcoal or graphite normally, and they'll spend like 200 hours on them or 50 hours on them or 60 hours on them. They'll spend a ridiculous amount of time on one plate, and they'll like perfectly gradate all the transitions. Just look at any drawing from Jerome's studio. There's not a single one that's drawn like that. And actually, universally, everyone spent 12 hours on drawing. So it's so weird that that's how people, they're like, oh yes, we're learning just like the 19th century artists. And then they paint in this way that is unlike any way that any 19th century painter has ever painted or drawn. So yeah, they're great. They're really good for learning measurements and stuff, practicing your basic proportions, understanding basic forms and halftones and stuff like that. They're great. But I recommend you do them with charcoal and stump. You spend like 3 to 12 hours on them. You do them at a larger scale. You don't put the reference right next to it and transfer over all the measurements. But yeah, here, I'll show you. I already showed this, but I'll show it again because people come and go. Because people aren't unemployed. Right, this is a Bargue plate. It's done at the same scale. I don't know why I'm talking louder. The mic's pinned to my chest. It's a sin. Oh, here we go. This is a Bargue plate. It's done the same scale. I'm like probably 10 hours in. I'm slow on this one because I'm really trying to get the form rendering down to be like how Bargue does it. But yeah, like 10 hours it's not that long. If it takes me 15 or so, then that's fine. And I'm just, because I'm like really focusing. A beginner's gonna want to focus on just like getting basic proportions and laying them out on the page. I'm trying to focus on the way that Bargue is like very intentional about rendering and halftones and gradating out tones. So I'm going very slow intentionally on this one. It's more care than I would put into a normal figure drawing. But Bargue's just a fucking genius. Hold on, let me pull up some links here. Bargue is just a fucking genius for all the ways that people don't appreciate him anymore, and it's crazy. Let me pull up the link here. Cours de Design. I'll bust out a little French on you. Don't get too excited. This one? Yeah. How do I... Why is the top of my filter cut off? It's a sin. Wait, basic 3D? 3D. Oh, shit. Zoom out. Oh. Position Z? All right, fuck it. I don't care. I don't care. We'll do it like this. Anyways, all right. This is the. You can go to this website. Just look up Course Data Zin E-Stamp Charles Bargue. This is a stump or something. That just means paper stump. Or actually, it doesn't. It means something else. But they use that word for paper stump. You know, this is the type of stuff that's great for learning how to do proportions and like learning about basic block-ins. You don't have to literally copy every single one of these lines, but they're just there to show you to compare things to your vertical and horizontal, to block in like big general shapes, and then to reduce them into medium shapes, and then to fill in the shadows. And then there's really no shading going on here except for like slight gradations. That stuff is cool. It's great for beginners. That's what you see get copied in ateliers all the time. But let me pull my chat back up. Whoa. There we go. This is the one I'm working on down here. Wait, why am I hearing myself? Oh, I pulled up the stream over here. Okay. This is the one I'm working on here. Dude, this shit is crazy. I mean, so the thing that's a little bit confusing about this too, that I think throws people off and what makes them kind of too delicate about this, is that this isn't a stump drawing from the French Academy. It's a lithograph of a stump drawing from the French Academy. So it's somebody's turned it into a print. So this is they took a student or a teacher drawing and they turned it into the perfect drawing. So it's way cleaner than a normal French drawing is. And everything is like perfectly hatched and shit. They weren't hatching like this in the mid to late 19th century for academic drawings. This is just, I think, just how lithographs are made and how Bargue liked to work. You know, Bargue was very technical and good. You know, you can see how each one of these mark pulls out and around and perfectly gradates shit out. They're not meant to be copied like this. Nobody drew like this in the 19th century. But I mean, they're just really, really good. Like how incredible like these little cracks are. They're made with almost nothing. And if you squint your eyes, you just see that this is just a simple cylinder that wraps the tone around, and then the middle gets erased out of the cylinder, and then there's like this tiny halftone is gradated down. Everything is constructed so beautifully. All the forms are rounded perfectly. Really, really nice. You can see it on. There's one other one of these. They're so good. They're so formy and strong. And it's not because the light is like perfectly gradated out. Yeah, this one. This one's crazy. Like if you squint your eyes, this whole mass of hair without the ripples and anything like that, there's this insane gradient of like black that wraps around from the front and then slowly starts to wrap back to black here on the other side of the sphere. Like this is a crazy gradient. And then we have like these very precisely like hatched out areas. But first, you know, what Bargue is trying to do when he shows you these gradients too, same with this, is that you're supposed to first lay down the huge gradient, the large mass, and then you work in the medium details, and then you can work in these, you know, smaller details. And like just insane unity of light and shadow. That is like the subtlest eyebrow ever. That's crazy. You're not supposed to like get every single one of these details. You're supposed to conceive the whole mass, shade the mass, and then put the things into the mass. How much practice is it? Most French students were not. The French students didn't draw like this. Here, let me get some references for you guys. A lot of these images come from Ramon Hurtado, who's the guy teaching the course with me. Let me see. Where's a good example? It's a drawing by Michel. Okay. Slight amount of penis warning. this is like a typical French Academy 12-hour drawing. Hold on, let me. I'm pulling up other images too. Like I said, 12 hours is way too short to make super realistic drawings to the standard, so you have to sacrifice in some places, and that's where these drawings are like super cool and fun to look at. Like this face is barely cooked at all, but the drawing is so good. The drawing is crazy, but like they didn't even cook the face at all, and that's what makes it so good. Is that you look at any one of these areas, look at the hands, like they're like all undercooked. You know, nobody's doing that crazy gradation and hatching everything out, because that stuff, like, it's nice to do a couple times so you can prove you know how to do it. But you don't want to do that stuff every drawing you make, because at the end of the day, you got to make paintings and drawings, and that, you know, working like that is not conducive to getting work done. And then the way that these guys actually took that knowledge and really drew is spectacular, because they just took the bare minimum, and they learned how to make the most effect with the least. It's really, really cool. You can download these references, by the way. I'll shout out Ramon Hurtado. You can download these references here on the 19th century database or resources here. Free high-res images. You can download a bunch of these packs for free to look at. Here's another one. These ones are by Pusao. And anyways, you can see the same elements getting laid out. So where's the? Let me get rid of this, Michelle. Like again, like super crazy drawing. Again, this was done in 12 hours. They had a hard 12-hour time limit on these. And if you didn't finish up at the end of the week, like, you know, that guy's hands or feet, you just move on to the next one, which is part of what makes it so great. But then you start zooming in and you can see like how every single one of these people does stuff in really unique and interesting ways. Like this is the type of stuff that creates the charisma of Sargent. Sargent went here and he did cast drawings just like that. So it's like you don't get the charisma of Sargent by like, I gotta put down the right perfect brushstroke, you know, in the right spot, you know. You get the charisma of Sargent by learning how to just say like fuck it and just build out big structures and carve shit out and model planes in the largest, most striking way possible. That's the type of stuff that really makes this stuff work. I mean, this is just the confidence to put down strokes like this and just go, yeah, it's good enough, and move on to the next piece is just. It blows my mind. It blows my mind. It just doesn't even make sense. And like they weren't, you know, like it's like if I show you guys something, if I show you guys this, I'm like, yeah, you got to do this. Like it's like, no, I'm never gonna be good enough. I'm not good enough. I can't learn how to do that. And then you zoom in and you're like, well, you got to learn how to do this. I mean, maybe that still looks pretty crazy to you, but you can learn how to do that. That's not that hard. Would being asexual help with painting, or does being turned on help make the painting more sensual? Great question. Yeah. If being asexual is better, because I just get such a big boing-a-loing-a-loing that it gets in the way of my pencil in my hand while I'm drawing, and I got to take a break. Yeah. So really, you want to be asexual. All the greats were. Michelangelo died a virgin. Yeah, I don't think I have anything else after that boner comment to say. I'll probably end the stream. Just kidding. I'll go back to painting. I'm ace and I suck, so no. Yeah. Whoa, do guys even get turned on while doing painting? I like how you phrase that question. Do guys even get turned on? What is the even in that question for? The even in that question makes it sound like the implication is that girls are always turned on while painting, and you're like, whoa, do guys even get turned on? If you didn't mean to put even in there, do guys get turned on while painting? No. after the model drops trowel like once or twice, you get over it real quick. It's pretty medical and boring. And most of the time your models aren't like, most of the time your models are just everyday people, Everyday people they're not Rizzler. They're not Rizzler tier. Rizzler's a child, so he doesn't model. And I wouldn't want him to, because that'd be gross. But just like the essence, the aura. Stop the conversation. It helps as much as being left-handed or liking drinking rum. Nothing. Sure. Riz lessons from Jake. I wouldn't take those. Unless you want to learn how to just like info dump on unwilling participants. Which you all are willing participants, I suppose. Okay. I'm going to try not to get hard for the rest of this painting. That way I can keep streaming. We'll get back to work here. I was cleaning off my brushes. That's what I was doing. I mean, do people get turned on while doing painting? I mean, hopefully not. I mean, ideally, yeah. You can think that a naked person is very pretty and not be like lusting for them while drawing, It should be like, yeah. Try your best, Jake. Thank you. I'm new to this channel. Yeah, you probably are not going to last long if this is your first impression. How much do people think that color accuracy matters in these sorts of paintings? Color accuracy is like huge in 19th century painting. It's very, very, very important. Yeah, you have to keep mixing until the color is exactly right. It's very, very important. What is this like quiet ass sultry jazz? Yeah, I mean, the reason why you want to kind of learn your drawing principles first and then move into your painting principles and try not to, paint too early on in the process. I mean, it's okay to try stuff and have fun and just experiment. There's nothing wrong with that, but it really is best to... I need to mix some clean flesh tones. Probably gonna just scrape and get rid of a lot of this paint. It's because you need to learn like form and value ideas and have a really good understanding of form. That way when you start painting and all of a sudden you start focusing on color, you can move the form stuff to the back of your mind and not have to worry super hard about the proportions. If you're trying to keep track of all that shit at once, it's just not possible. Easy to idolize Jake until you join the Discord. You're making it sound like you got groomed, bro. Chill. It's not that I just talk about painting. I just answered the same 5 noob questions all day long. There's nothing scary in the Discord. What was I talking about? I was talking about color or something. Complexion. It don't mean a thing. Oh yeah, you don't want to... If you're trying to keep track of everything at once, it's just too hard. So, focus on your drawing skills first. Because yeah, it's another layer. Color is like a whole another layer on top of value, and value is like already very deep. And you know, you do those charcoal drawing style stuff to learn the value stuff and form, like I was talking about, form and construction. I was reading an 1832 drawing manual yesterday by a man named Perrault, and yeah, he's talking about like construction and center lines and like, you know, drawing out the forms and finding the whole form before you focus on individual piece of anatomy. It was real cool. They called it the Le Grand Ensemble. It's like, you know, pay attention to the big hole, the big mass first before you like start to cut into the mass. The Discord link is in the description of all of my new videos. There's no sexuality talk in the Discord. I will ban you for being weird in the Discord. I ban a lot of people. If you're being weird, I'll ban you. If you're being annoying, I'll ban you. If you're being really annoying, I'll also ban you. If you're being sexual, I will ban you. If you're being not funny, I'll ban you. If you don't send in a drawing every week, banned. If you're too good, banned. Jake's Discord turned my acrylic kid into an oil. Sure, whatever that means. Yeah, dude. It's just, is there a point to recreating paintings other than skill checking yourself? I mean, it's just practice. It's just like going to the gym. You just gotta put your reps in, you know? It's a really great way to practice because someone's already, it's like, you take the puzzle and someone's already solved it and they're showing you all the best possible answers and ways to solve it. And this stuff is, you know, infinitely deep, so. Okay, we need some new skin tones. You can be like a little bit lighter and more saturated in these areas. Probably same in here. I got this brush wiped off. Let's grab some lightness, and then we'll grab some saturationist. Last time it took me a while, so I'll start with a little bit less paint. And we need orange, so let's grab some yellow ochre and a little bit of red. My Discord is like, somebody will come in, they'll be like, hey, I'm new to drawing. Or actually they'll be like, I've been drawing for years, only digitally. I'm really good at values, but I normally just trace and I can't get any proportions right. And then that happens about once a day, and then every day I explain that they're probably not actually good at values, they're just good at copying, and they're not actually even good at that because they don't really have a understanding, and they need to like practice the same way that everyone always does. That's what the Discord is. And also I tell them don't use digital. I say just do trad drawing only, please. And then they go, oh, I hear you, but I'm still probably gonna do digital. And then they don't take my advice. And then I never see them again. That's the authentic Discord experience. One person took that advice once. His name was Toko, and he's the GOAT now. So, you know, take the advice. A little bit more cad yellow, a little bit of cad red. This needs to just be a little bit more orangey, a little more fiery orangey. That cad yellow helped out a lot, actually. Yeah, we're getting there. Hi, mate. You're my favorite deputy. Sure. So many members in chat. Holy shit. You guys are goated. You guys are... I'm going to keep it real with you guys. You guys are paying for nothing right now. I'll send you my phone number or something. I'm doing my best. I'm going to come back in a fiery storm. And I feel bad. I can probably make a members video like maybe next week or something. I'll try to do that. I'm doing my best. and also playing a little bit of Balatro. But that's not relevant to the discussion. I spend $30 a month on Photoshop. I can't afford a sketchbook. That is actually a great summary of everybody that tells me that traditional drawing is too expensive and that's why they do digital. On their $80 tablet in Photoshop. No, and nobody actually pays for Photoshop. We know that you're not paying for Photoshop. If you're paying $30 a month for Photoshop, you need to rethink your life. That shit is trash. Honestly, nobody should use Photoshop. I use it just because I make thumbnails and stuff, and it's what I'm used to. I need more saturation here. Sargent's so goated at color, man. It drives me fucking crazy. $20? Oh! Oh, it's right over my face, too. Why does it look like your name's cut off? I'm going to your channel, buddy. I'm going to your channel. Fifth key, ... Hosted by Sticky. Hell yeah, brother. Thank you. That's very nice of you. I appreciate you. Let's fucking go. Let's go. That's maybe one of the biggest donations ever in the history of all my Oilers. Is that even the right amount of saturation-ness? How does Sargent get these colors so saturated and vibrant? I need a lighter brush here for my skin tones. Oh! Well, I shouldn't be. Oh! So I need to be 1/20th of that one. Thank you, Kevin. I love you. That $1 will go straight to Katie's pocket. I gotta pay the mods. My mods hop on their alt account and they type OF when, and then they go in their main account and they let the message sit there for a minute and then they ban them and they're like, Jake, pay me. I'm not stupid. Can I be a mod for my 20th birthday? When's your birthday? I want money. You're gonna be disappointed in the mod salary. I'm gonna be a little disappointed in the mod salary. If anyone deserved to get paid for their moderation, it would be Dago. He's the hardest working moderator. Probably. That's too much yellow. But yellow ochre, I think I still need a dash of red in here. The forehead is like, it's not just yellow and white, and it's not just white. It's very bright. This is probably an area where I am running into the limits of titanium white, actually. Because titanium white, it is hard to get it's hard to get super saturated, high value tints because the white's too dominating and it's too desaturating. So when you have too much white into a mix, it desaturates. This is an area where I should be using like a calcium carbonate white. New level of cope unlocked. No, but for real, it makes a really big difference. It's actually crazy how much of a difference it makes. I mean, yeah, that is probably close to the value difference there. I just push a little bit of red into here, take a little bit of yellow into here. Is this my, yeah. Oh, I don't have that color anymore. I scraped them all. May 13th, okay. My birthday is in May. Too, as well. What are your thoughts on glass palettes? Cool. You can scrape them. If you clean your palette, wood's fine. Soft mixing white. I don't know. I'd have to know what pigment's in it. That's some weird. That's the annoying thing about paint is that it's not like regulated or anything. So you just call it whatever you want. You can look at the pigment code on the side. There'll be a code that's like, you know, PW6 or PW6, PW4 probably, which is like, I think 6 is titanium white, and then like 4 is probably like zinc or something. I don't know. I'm mixing like an idiot right now. I gotta focus up. Trying to remix this color. I'm way too white. So we'll lighten it in value. There we go. Need a little bit more brown in there. This is why I go through so much white. Oh, wait, I'm too zoomed in. Wait, no, I'm not too zoomed in. It's just half of my window's hidden. I was like, how is no one complaining? Okay, a little bit more brown into here. I love star signs. I'm a Capri Sun. Jake, do you like the fashion world? All right, let me tell you a little bit of story. Let me tell you a little bit of story about Grandpa. Back in high school, I had some sort of undiagnosed social disorder, which I've gotten over now. I'm just like my lactose intolerance. I tanked that shit and I got over it. But I decided in like senior year of high school or sophomore or junior year that I was gonna get into fashion, but I didn't know anything about art. I didn't know anything about looking cool. I didn't know anything about anything really. And so my idea of like getting into fashion was just gonna be buying cool things that I saw on Reddit. So I very unfortunately found r/streetwear, which is just like, you know, back then it was like Supreme and stuff. And I couldn't afford any of that, like YSL and Supreme and like Rick Owens and stuff like that. Stuff, by the way, again, I had no understanding of art, so I didn't, you know, that type of stuff doesn't really look good on my like proportions and body type either. But no, that wouldn't stop me. So I went on like Taobao, which is like Chinese Amazon, and I would buy like fakes of these terrible clothes, and I would walk around in like a ton of like designer fakes all the time. And pretty universally, all of my outfits were trash. They were just horrendously bad. I looked zesty as hell in all the wrong ways. I was wearing skinny jeans. My mother, I'm not built for skinny jeans. My legs they're short and thick. They're not good for skinny jeans. I'm too thick. I got too much thickness. Yeah, so it was just all around a bad time, you know, fashion wise. But you know, eventually I learned about art, and I stopped wearing that stuff. Now I work from home, so I just wear like sweatpants every day. I have embraced dad fashion life, so you know, like a nice like baggy pair of cargo pants and my New Balance sneakers and like a tucked in shirt. That's where I'm at nowadays. Did I get girls with Supremes? No, I did not get any women with Supreme. The live stays, yeah, all the lives are on my channel. If you go to my channel and then you hit the live tab, all the recordings will be there. I'm trying to think of like, oh, so I also bought like, my only good outfit was I bought like a full Adidas tracksuit. That thing was fire. One of the only good decisions I made. I had a full Gopnik Adidas tracksuit. That shit was sick. Slav squad in that thing. You just can't beat it. I know that the Greeks are smiling on me right now. I know the Eastern Europeans are smiling on me right now. It was glorious. I would fully 100% rock another sweatsuit, tracksuit. I know that the Greeks in chat right now are typing XA, 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 XA. The Europeans know how to do an Adidas tracksuit, man. That's something that just didn't make it to America. That did not make it to America. Nobody's running that game here in America, and I don't know why. Even like UK, they got it. The chav kids in UK or whatever you call it. I've never tried oil pastels. Tracksuits are wretched, vile things. That's a very strong opinion, bro. I feel like you just haven't seen me bust it down sexual style in a tracksuit. Gone wrong. The worst part, though, I think the only reason I got it is because it was like an Adidas X Bape. And like Bape was this brand. I'm sure it's still around. It's a terrible fucking brand. I didn't like any of the stuff. I had zero taste. I didn't like any of the stuff for any reason other than I saw it online and it's expensive and cool. It's like actually so bad. I was not an artist back then. You have to understand. I had some sort of religious pilgrimage where I got over my social disorder. And I became an artist. Which took many more years. I'm just Euro-coded like that, all right? They are a dangerous thing. At first, you like how comfortable they are, and then next thing you know, you're wearing it to a wedding. That's very true. That's very true. The problem is like, if any of you ever see me in public, I'm like embarrassed because I just go to the grocery store and the gym and that's it. And I just wear my sweatpants, but I have multiple pairs of sweatpants, but they all have like little individual spots of like paint on them where I've like accidentally set my brush down. So I just look like a fucking loser now. From socially incompetent to being an artist, yeah. You can't really cure disorders, you just trade them in. Kevin said when you squint it really does look like the man in the painting. Do you think it'd be worth it to paint, make a bunch of studies like this? Yeah, I mean, this is just how every painting should start out. This is how Sargent started his paintings too. You always want to be painting through that like painter vision. That's what Ramon used to call it when he was teaching me how to paint. Through like the squinted eyes, through simplification, get the ultimate color accuracy. But the thing is like you can't just do that without an understanding of like the forms and proportions of the face. It's not that helpful unless you like understand that type of stuff first. So you have to understand a little bit of like where these ideas come from. But yeah, for sure. It never hurts to do smaller, compressed value studies. You look good, you're geeking. You're saying that, I was talking about me when I'm at, I almost said the name of my local store brand. Do you see me at the store, bro? Are you there? Nobody's ever come up and said hi to me in person. But I think I'm just too niche. It's kind of funny that the world is so big nowadays that like, you can have like hundreds of thousands of followers online and like, no one ever knows. When I first got like some videos big on like TikTok, when I was first getting like millions of views a week on TikTok, I was like scared. I was like, I'm gonna go outside and someone's gonna recognize me. Everyone's looking at me. I was like, just gets up posting. I try to just stream when I'm working on like the Discord challenges and stuff. I should more, yeah. I've never tried wearing a skirt. Hi Aunt, thanks for wishing me a good month. I hope you're having a good month too. It's beautiful. It's like 50 degrees out today for the first time in months and sunny. Now I'm not outside, so, but you know. It feels good. I have a window cracked. I was not about to say Wegmans. We don't got Wegmans here. Wegman. We don't got that here. We don't got no H Mart, no Wegmans. I'm more in like the market basket part of the world. That's not what I was about to say. What I was about to say is more local, but I'm more in that market basket type beat. Soften out that edge a little bit there. I don't want to create a trend, you know, like a halftone that goes in between these two. Maybe I just do it with my fingers. It's good enough. It's okay. Pull that one up a little bit. Sometimes your fingers are just the right tool for the job. Sorry, I don't know why I winked and should shoot it there. Jake, do you consume Zaza? I'll be honest. I used to just smoke big weed all the time. I quit like over a year ago, and yeah, no, I don't think I'm ever interested in doing that again. Yeah, it just became like not fun for me, and I think it was holding me back a bit. Yeah. Nothing against it. I don't smoke or drink or do anything anymore. I just lost all interest. And I'm happy. I'm more productive and stuff. Oh. This was like, well, no, it was around the same time. I did start taking like Vyvanse, like ADHD meds, and I feel like that helped me a lot more than that type of stuff ever could have. That like drastically improved my quality of life. And really, I'd been tapering off for years before that. It's psychedelics in art a pop culture thing, or is it a real thing? Not for realist painters. Maybe if you're like an abstract expressionist, you're doing mushrooms or whatever, but not really for... It's not really helpful. Bro got that Vegeta hairline. I quit cigarettes 1 week ago. Congrats, man. Yeah, keep off the cigarettes, man. That shit's worse than anything else. And that stuff is really... It's tough. It's tough. I never had a nicotine addiction. My brother smokes like cigarettes. He's been smoking cigarettes since like 14, I think. Yeah, I never had a nicotine addiction, but I knew that if I tried nicotine, I'd be hooked. Yeah, I've like hit a few vapes and stuff like that, but I knew that if I really tried that shit, I would 100% be hooked. So I thankfully I was smart enough to never get into it. But that stuff is really rough. It's tough. Tried drawing on shrooms, everything came out looking like a children's finger painting. Yeah, I mean, yeah. People that do psychedelics will be like, dude, you have to try it. You're gonna like achieve a higher state of mind and consume God and become one and make the best painting ever. But unfortunately, painting is just a boring old skill that you have to learn and practice and study like anything else. And there are no cheat codes. And you will not make a better painting or drawing, or you will not be able to do your math homework better on any substance. This needs to be darker, a bit darker. So really, really subtle dark tones all over this painting. The value changes are incredibly small. It's tough too, because I'm comparing to like sunken in values. Unfortunately, you just have to learn this stuff like everyone else. But it's good job security once you know how to do it. It's interesting that people are telling me that it's coming together. I don't feel that way at all, but I think the colors are accurate and they're masked into the right spots. So, I mean, I guess that is what coming together is. That was kind of my goal today. I just wanted to like think about big masses and just kind of block stuff in very, very roughly. Sargent is still alive and he's on Whippets. I'm on DMT right now. There's this CSGO video. Some guy loads into a lobby and he goes, I'm on DMT right now. I'm taking a hit of DMT. And then he into the microphone and then he just screams for about 40 seconds straight. It was probably the stupidest video ever. I'm high on DMT. That's how I feel when I'm talking to chat, basically. How do you keep your brushes clean? Do you clean them every day? Yeah, you got to clean your oil painting stuff, your palette, and your brushes at the end of every day that you use them. You can't really get around it. But it's not too bad. Actually, one thing that's really helped me a lot too, I love having a lav mic that I can just get up and walk around with. I bought a couple of these things. This one's by far my favorite. It's just a makeup cleaning brush cleaner. And you can really get these online anywhere for like $3 to $6. Like literally shipped to your house for like $3 from like a lot of places. They're just mass produced. This one's a more complicated makeup brush cleaner and I thought it would be significantly better because it's like tilted and it's got different textures. But honestly, these ones are the best. You just swirl it around in there with soapy water, warm soapy water. You know, like I just put like a good squirt of dish soap in there and then warm soapy water and just swirl it around until the water runs clear. And it cleans it really, really, really well. Sometimes from like a heavy painting session too, I have a thing of linseed oil, so I'll soak everything in, or I'll dip everything in linseed oil and I'll wipe off the brushes on paper towels first, and that gets like 80% of the paint off, and then I'll do it in the sink with warm soapy water. I've never used oil sticks before. Same with the palette. Yeah, I mean, in the 19th century, all the French artists too, I mean, maybe not all of them, but the French artists were like all alcoholics. I mean, people in the late 19th century, early 20th century were all like super alcoholics. I don't know what happened to society. Well, it was probably, you know, modernization, industrial revolution stuff, but yeah, I mean, like in like the 1910s, the average like American or European was drinking like 40 liters of alcohol a year or something ridiculous like that. You know, people used to use substances a lot. And in the 19th century too, when they did like a ton of hazing and stuff. When you got into the French Academy, they would haze the shit out of you and they'd make you buy everyone alcohol. And they'd say like, hey, like you need to pay your class fees. Like you have to pay your class fees, and then they'd pay their fees and then they'd just take the money and go next door and buy alcohol, come back drunk. So yeah, you know, people used to drink a lot back in the day. I mean, people still do, but I think, you know, especially over the past 20 years, I feel like people's opinion of alcohol has really changed. Like society's kind of started to see how bad it really is. Maybe it's a cultural thing too. I heard people put their brushes in some sort of container so that they stay wet. That doesn't really work with oil paint. It works with acrylic. They make these sponge containers that you can put stuff in, but that doesn't work with oil paint really. If you want to keep your stuff wet, especially with like your palette, if you have a bunch of mix out colors on your palette and you don't want to scrape it at the end of the night and waste it, you can put the palette in the freezer and it will stay wet in the freezer. I don't know how long, indefinitely, longer than you need. So that works really well. If you must. Oh, there's like a huge hair on there. There we go. But really, you should just get in the habit of mixing stuff every day, or washing stuff every day. Gabagool. Well, yeah, back in the day, they used to drink alcohol because the water quality was terrible. I mean, that's like, I mean, it probably depends on where you are in the world, but like, way back in the day, like, yeah, water or wine or alcohol was safer to drink than water because, you know, it's been purified or whatever through the process of making it. Maybe that's kind of come and gone throughout history. I assume at some point, you know, we started digging wells and stuff like that, and you know, well, we've probably been digging wells for longer than people have been doing that actually. But it got really bad in like the 1910s. Yeah, beer is probably more common than wine. I think it can grow. Well, actually, is hops more temperate? I'm not sure. Or more hardy. I don't know what I'm talking about right now, guys. If it's not 19th century painting stuff, I have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about. Don't get me talking about history. I watched like a John Green crash course on like Napoleonic times, like literally yesterday, because I was like, I need to learn more about this shit. My history's so bad. I watched a bunch of crash course videos yesterday, trying to figure out why there's like 3 Napoleons, man. You didn't learn your lesson the first time? How much time do you spend on original paintings versus these studies? I don't paint enough original paintings. Well, because, you know, honestly, like the original artwork that I make has really become my videos. I really enjoy that as my creative outlet that I can experiment around and like not be super obsessed with technique on, and I get to use all these skills in creative ways. That's really what I see as my you know, super original outlet. I do want to make more original illustrations and paintings and stuff, but I'm in no rush. I just love learning about the history and I love practicing this stuff and getting better at it. So it's not like a huge focus of mine right now. But yeah, you know, it will be eventually. But most of the time I'm just doing studies, but I love doing studies. So, you know, and I think that the studies I'm doing are very efficient and I'm progressing. I'm not just like spinning my tires, but I would be progressing more if I was applying studies regularly also. So at the end of the day, you just got to do what you like, and if you're passionate enough about it, then you'll improve. The left side of the eye. This eye over here has to come up a little bit. Gotta be careful with losing my proportions in this painting too. Oh, I wanted to paint the underplane of the nose too. This plane of the nose has a value, obviously. What color is this? What color is that? Oh. Yeah, but that's what I really like about videos. With art, it's like I love studying and I like improving and I like learning and teaching, drawing and painting a lot. But I've never felt like super motivated to like, create some like super original, series of illustrations or whatever. But with videos, like for the first time, I found something, I found a way to scratch that itch. Or to get that itch, I guess, to scratch. I found a way to get itchy about it. And with the videos, I feel really, inspired to just try out and create really cool things. And it's also a place where I am not good. Like, I'm not technically good at making videos. Like, I don't know anything about like the editing softwares and the cameras. There's people who are like me for painting, but in videos all over the place. But with my videos, those are like the one place that, what am I fucking doing? Jesus goddamn Christ. What was I thinking with that halftone? It's about 4 values off. Videos for me are like one place where like I don't feel the compulsive need to like be this technician on it. I can just like create and just whatever effect I need, I can just kind of watch a video and learn the basics of and then just go and like use it. But I'm not like, super technically skilled and I don't really care all that much about learning the in and out of like exactly how cameras work and operate and the history of cameras and the history of film and different types of, shooting angles and stuff. It's like, I have an idea. Like, what's the easiest way to execute this? Like, that's kind of what makes the best, like, creative painters and artists, if you can mix that with some level of skill, obviously. And it's a really nice natural place I found in video making. Yeah, Gox is like the go. There's a lot of stuff that, I mean, that guy's crazy. Like, that guy is, if I was passionate about making videos like I was painting, like, that's, more of the style of videos. Like, that guy just makes videos because he like, loves video. That's really cool. And there's a lot more stuff I want to do to keep pushing down that world. Type of content do I watch on YouTube? I don't, here's the thing too, is like, I don't watch any art YouTube. And I actually heard this too. I don't want to watch any art YouTube. I don't want anyone to influence. Well, first off, I just think most art YouTube is bad. I think there's very few good art YouTubers out there. There are some really good ones, for sure. But I've never really been interested in art YouTube or like been a big follower of it. Yeah, and I don't want, I heard, somebody say that like lots of YouTubers, like commentary YouTubers and stuff like that, they don't watch their own genre because they don't want to get like too influenced by it. And like on one hand, that sounds like a little silly to me because like that would be me being like, oh, I don't look at 19th century paintings because I don't want to be influenced by the paintings. Like, that doesn't make any sense. But for like art YouTube, I try to take from other genres. And honestly, I don't even watch that much good YouTube. I don't even know. Who do I like? Captain Disillusion's one of my biggest influences right now. That was the biggest influence for the ARC video that I put out last. I fucking love Captain Disillusion. He's probably like one of the goatiest goats of all time. Probably one of the greatest goatiest goats of all time. Is somebody an art YouTuber right now that's not happy that I said that I don't like any art YouTubers? Yeah. I just don't think that I think most art YouTubers are like, what I'm not interested at all in, what I don't like about art YouTubers is, especially with painting YouTubers, there's almost very few painting YouTubers out there that don't make just like, here's how you put your paint on the palette, and then you pick out the color and you put it in the spot, and this is my painting tutorial. I don't watch any of that content. There's very few like fine art YouTubers who make content, not tutorials. Like, that's what I'm interested in. Like, there's nothing wrong with making tutorials, but it's just not what I'm interested in. Oh, no, what's his name? Not Mark Burnett. What's the other guy? Marco Bucci. That guy makes good tutorial content, actually. I think he transcends above like tutorials in a really entertaining and well-produced and put-together way. Big respect for that guy. Marco Bucci's always been one of the art goats. Adolphe Yvon, 19th century teacher from the French Academy who taught the drawing classes at night. He said, to teach is to entertain. A little something for you. A little something for you to stick in your pipe and smoke it. Something like that. Scott Waddle. I've never watched Scott Waddle. I know his paintings. I've looked at his paintings. I've just never watched anything he's ever put out. I look like Boran Kuzum. I've never heard that one. I get a lot of doppelganger comments. I've never heard Boran. You look like Johnny Sins. No, stop. Stop. Turkish actor. Maybe a little bit. I look like that Turkish guy on TikTok who's really his whole thing is how fast he can steal stuff. He just puts like a lighter on his table and he's like, I look like that guy on TikTok. Yeah, there's almost no mustache on the far side of the face. It's very strange, actually. Somebody can find the guy on TikTok. Probably. I don't really know how much longer I am for this world. To put it in the most dramatic way possible. I'm kind of don't really want to keep sitting, pushing into this in one session. But yeah, I don't know how much longer I am for this world. The problem was I had the face in my sketch. I had the face more straightened out. And then this morning I looked at it and I don't have like a good setup for like where my reference is. But so I'm like always moving my iPad around. I think the angle that I look at it, like it really makes a big difference. And I've tilted everything a little bit more to the right, and I pushed all this stuff down to the right, and then now that I got my iPad set up over here for the reference, I'm like, damn, like I've been bumping everything up to be more straight again. So yeah, I don't know. So now I'm kind of like correcting stuff on the fly, and I don't like doing that. I'm reading chat. Do you do a lot of commission art? No. I almost never take commissions. Almost never. Almost never. Like, I've taken single-digit commissions. I don't like doing commissions. Here's the thing, guys. I'm like, have some sort of special interest or something, and I'm only good at doing whatever the fuck I want. Okay? And if you just let me cook, I'll cook. But you gotta just, if you try to get me on a task that I'm not interested in, I can't even pretend. I can't even pretend at all. Yeah, so if you tried to like make me do like a pet portrait, I could probably do, I could do one. But I would get bored real fast if that was like an actual source of income for me. And yeah, I would either start making really like weird portraits, or maybe I'd be like Sargent, get like really lazy with them. Just be like, I'm only doing charcoal now, and I'm only spending 3 hours on them. That's what Sargent did later in his life. Yeah, I really like the YouTube is perfect for me. Making content and courses and teaching and stuff is perfect for me, because I can kind of just do whatever I want, and as long as it's good enough, then I can use it to make money and market the stuff that actually makes me money, and then I can keep doing kind of the cool stuff that I actually really want to do. But I've always been like this, even in school. That's why I never studied or did anything, because I just never had anyone to like push me to actually care about stuff and have a reason to invest in it myself. Max is the only good pet in the Discord. I don't really like other people's pets. Well, that's just a horrible thing to say. Like, if you send 1 million photos of your cat to me, I'll say it's cute, but like, I need a physical bond to love something. Max is the only pet in the world that I truly love over the internet. I love Max. Snowy's great. Yeah, now my Discord's mad at me. Snowy's great. I love Max. Max is the cutest dog in the world. And I genuinely want a wiener dog. I want a dachshund. I need a physical, I need to like to pet the dog if I want to love it. That's just that's just the truth that the liberals don't want to hear, okay? I'm not doing no long distance relationships either, okay? Cuz I can't pet the significant other. It's just the way that it has to go, okay? Max is the only animal that has made me consider getting an animal myself recently. I love big dogs, actually. Big dogs are my favorite. Yeah, I normally don't like small dogs, but for some reason, wiener dogs have stolen my heart. Man, I love some wiener. What can I say? This is the size of the eye. Oh, my eyes shrunk considerably. That's where it comes up. Eye starts there. It's got to end like here. Yeah, it ends like there. I had it marked out properly. Oh, actually, I drew Jake once. Jake is a cat that has a really cool name in my Discord, and I drew Jake once. I like Jake because he's kind of a mugger. He's got kind of like a looks maxed Rizzler pilled jawline. That's too bright over there, but I just wanted to mark it. There we go. That's in a better spot. The face is just a little too tilted. Can you meow for us, Jake? I'm going to pop the shirt off and oil up first. Neither are going to happen. Can we volunteer to be painted by you? Listen, that's basically a commission, okay? Maybe if you're really pretty, if you got that 19th century look, but the problem is I only have so many hours a week. And 12 is a lot of them. So, or however long it takes to paint. So it's quite I can't make any commitments to anyone for anything, including my YouTube members who actually pay me for my commitments. And I still disrespect them. And I love them dearly. Oh, I didn't mean to wipe that hard. Shit. I'll just be smudging. Man, my eye placement is actually fucked up. Probably just drop this one down a little bit more. I'm not as soft and as feminine as this guy. You can paint with cooking oil, it just doesn't dry very fast. It's not really all that interesting. It'll yellow like crazy. I didn't paint. I didn't take I don't pick people that look like me. I'm way more chiseled than this guy, so. Is there even music going on? Have we just been in the silence? I forgot to put my headphones back on. Yeah, the left side of the forehead is definitely too high. There's like a bunch of issues. I kind of want to like call it for the day. This is about as much as I want to spend on one session. I gotta get dinner with my mother tonight. Wonderful lady. Wonderful. It's a little bit better. The angle's still wrong. I kind of like the start though. Even though it's very bare bones, I like the start. I think the color blocking is accurate. And it's a decent base. I can kind of come back in and work over it a little bit more intentionally. Push this in a little bit. You calling it start is? Yes. The drawing of this one was really hard. It took me like 90 minutes or so. I was begging on my knees. Guys, let me show you something real quick. I gotta change scene. Right here, baby. Half my face is not even on. It's blending out. Sculptural drawing with Jake Don't Draw. It's a 2-day workshop if you want to learn the fundamentals of drawing. This is a nice cheap way to you know, watch them live or get the recordings and you know, learn how to you know, straight bust it down with me. That's happening next Saturday. And then May 1st, big website launch and course and all that shit. Yeah. I think that's probably it for the stream. How long have we been going? Like 3 hours? 3 hours, 1 minute on the dot. It's been a good time, guys. It's been a good time. Any last words? Any final questions to my people? Can I buy it and share it for free? Yeah, sure, whatever, man. Just doing it for fun, you know. Don't repost it on YouTube, but you know. If you slide the recording to your buddy, you know, I'm not gonna come after you. Bye, Jake. All right, guys. It's been a great stream. I want to do this more, so I probably will. I'm gonna say something like that, and then probably not stream again for a month. But I'll be back, guys.